news. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You're not going to believe this, but I started the television show at the same time I started the radio show. Welcome to 660 AM, The Answer and the Wells Report. This is your newscast for the night. We take care of you. We tell you the truth. No fake news on the Wells Report. We report fake news is what it is. Fake news. Little did I know that we were going to be in a position where we could actually do something about fake news, but here we are, and it's time to get rolling. The Department of Homeland Security issued a sweeping set of orders today that implement President Trump's plan to increase immigration enforcement, placing the vast majority of the nation's 11 million undocumented immigrants at risk of deportation. The memos instruct all agents, including Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to identify, capture, and quickly deport every undocumented immigrant they encounter. The memos require undocumented immigrants caught entering the country to be first placed in detention until their cases are resolved, increase the ability of local police to help in immigration enforcement, call for the hiring of 10,000 more immigration agents, and allow planning to begin on an expansion of the border wall between the United States and Mexico. The memos make undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of a crime the highest priority of enforcement protections and operations, but they make clear that ICE agents should also arrest and initiate deportation proceedings against any other undocumented immigrant they encounter. Are you okay with this? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Department personnel have full authority to arrest and apprehend an alien whom an immigration officer has probable cause to believe is in violation of immigration laws. They also have full authority to initiate removal proceedings against any alien who is subject to removal under any provision of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Wow. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer says the memos do not represent a goal of mass deportations. Everybody who is here illegally is subject to removal at any time. That's consistent with every country, not just ours. But the priority that the president has laid forward are people who have committed a crime or pose a threat to our public. The memos fulfill Trump's campaign promises to crack down on illegal immigration. Dan Stein, the president of the Federation for American Immigration Reform, which advocates for lower levels of legal and illegal immigration, said the memos capture many recommendations his group has been making for many years. What Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly has done is lay out a broad map of regaining control of a process that spun out of control. Completely and totally true. Immigration advocacy groups were crushed. Although Trump recently said his focus would be to deport undocumented immigrants with criminal histories who pose a threat to national security, the new memos make it clear that nearly all undocumented immigrants are at risk. These memos lay out a detailed blueprint for the mass deportation of 11 million undocumented immigrants in America, said Lynn Tremonti, Deputy Director of America's Voice Education Fund, which advocates on behalf of immigrants. They fulfill the wish lists of white nationalist and anti-immigrant movements and bring to life the worst of Donald Trump's campaign rhetoric. Okay, so let's start the analysis right there. Did Donald Trump, while I wasn't looking, pass any new federal laws regarding immigration and illegal immigration in this nation? Did he? Did he sign any new laws from the Congress? He didn't, did he? Because if he had done any immigration law, we would have known about it, correct? Because he hasn't passed any laws. No laws have been passed. We have passed a few laws, but we haven't gotten anything an immigration law out of the Congress. So that means that all the laws that Donald Trump is talking about in these memos are already on the books. So when people from the left say that Donald Trump is trying to do the white nationalist thing, which just absolutely infuriates me, they're actually talking about American law, not Donald Trump. All Donald Trump is doing is being true to his oath of office and actually enforcing America's laws. Laws passed already by the Congress, already signed off by previous presidents, already the laws of the land. So all Donald Trump did, at least with these memos, is show up and say, okay, these are the laws, enforce them. Am I wrong in that? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Am I wrong in any of that? I don't think so. So if you've got a problem with anything that Donald Trump is doing, it's not with Donald Trump, it's with American law. If you have a problem with American law, you can change it. All you have to do is get the Congress to go along. But until you change the American law is as it is, and that means that if you're living here illegally, you could have a problem. Now, is there anything wrong with any of that? 866-660-5759. Is there anything wrong with that? If so, what is it? 866-660-5759. Gotta know. Tell me, please, what's wrong with this picture? 866-660-5759. More than 750,000 undocumented immigrants have been granted deportation protection under the program that was called, deportation protection granted by President Obama to undocumented immigrants brought to the country as children, DACA, will continue to be honored as long as those immigrants abide by the rules of the program. Okay, so DACA is still intact. So the Dreamers, as long as they continue to follow the rules of the program, will be left alone. Okay, so that's, 750,000 undocumented immigrants have been granted deportation protections under the program known as Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, DACA. The orders also detail a broad plan to keep undocumented immigrants caught in crossing the southwest border from making it to the interior of the U.S. They call for detaining all of them until their cases are resolved. Currently, many undocumented immigrants are processed by immigration agents, released into the country in order to reappear for court hearings. That's called catch and release. The memos will seek to end that practice by ordering the construction of more jails along the southwest border to house detained immigrants until their cases are resolved. So if you check in, you don't check out until you are adjudicated by a U.S. immigration judge. Again, is there anything wrong with this? 866-660-5759. Let me get to Stephen in Irving, Texas. Stephen, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi. I'm just kind of the mind that, well, one, what Trump is doing is perfectly fine. It's within the law.
Right.
And the other side is that we should never be surprised that the left makes the charges that it makes. I don't even think they really believe what they're saying. It's just the playbook. You know, they have the standard things that they're going to say every time, no matter what. They're going to charge the right with being racist, with being bigots, with being neo-Nazis, with being all the standard things.
Yeah, that
and
really,
I don't even really think they believe that.
Well,
it's just what they say.
That truly and completely annoys me. You know, when Lynn Tremonti from America's Voice Educational Fund says that these memos fulfill the wish lists of white nationalists and anti-immigrant movements, you know, One of the reasons why Donald Trump is the president of the United States is because the American left kept telling the people that they had long supported and had supported them back, basically undereducated white males, that they've been calling them bigots for 20 years. And if those of us in that position are called bigots long enough, pretty soon it doesn't make any difference whether you think I'm a bigot or not. I know I'm not. But that being said, don't throw this white nationalist garbage at me, because that's one of the reasons why you lost.
I'm worried about whether or not God thinks I'm a racist. I'm not worried about whether or not somebody on the left thinks that. They're going to call me that anyway. So why worry about it?
Yeah, I agree. Let me get to Lisa in North Richland Hills. Lisa, what do you think? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Thank you. I feel it's great that he's enforcing the laws. These laws have been in place since 1952, and I can remember when LBJ was president, and they were talking about our loose borders back then. And it's been that way ever since the 60s. And the Democrats, they want to keep the Mexican border open because it allows people to come in and they can get them on the welfare, and then they can get them to vote Democratic because they want to stay on welfare. 70% of these immigrants are on welfare, and we're paying for them, and they're not even citizens.
Yeah, it's the import people into the country that will cast votes Americans won't cast. Yeah, that's truly annoying. Yeah. And as far as the public assistance, again, this is all absolutely, without doubt, without fail, more of the anti-American Democrat platform of the left. These people, God bless them, I understand they live a hard life. I got it. But it's the hard life that, for whatever reason, they have chosen to allow their country to provide them. People do rise up against unjust governments. It does happen. And by escaping these problems, by coming here and trying to live in the shadows, voluntarily, by the way, that doesn't solve any of the problems in your original country. 866-660-5759. Already on the O'Reilly factor, Bill O'Reilly was asked, well, okay, so if somebody's got a tail light out in their car and they're an illegal immigrant, do they get arrested on the spot and deported? And O'Reilly sort of shrunk from it, saying, oh, no, that's ridiculous. Nobody's ever done that. Why not? Why not? Is that not some reason to stop someone and find out whether or not they're indeed in the country legally? I mean, it's like, that's the fish jumping into the boat, is it not? What do? Throw it back? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Call me on the telephone. Let me know one way or another. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. When you're looking for a company to install new windows in your home, you need to understand the difference between years of experience and years in business. Many companies talk about how many years of experience they have, but that does not necessarily make them a good fit for your project. The term years of experience tells me they've been doing something for a period of time, but not necessarily successfully. The more years a company has been in business will tell you they're an organization who takes care of their customers, because if they didn't, they could not survive in a competitive market. I'm happy to say Statewide Remodeling has been in business for over 22 years, and as to experience, we have installed over 120,000 windows in Texas. We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home, and a satisfaction guarantee your money back. All that's in writing. So if you're ready to get straight talk about new windows for your home, give us a call. The estimate and window evaluation are free. And if you decide to purchase, you'll receive 20% off your project. And while supplies last, I'll throw in a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest. Call 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095.
Hey, it's Frank Reed. I'm visiting with my friend Dr. Chad Glines from Genesis Back and Neck. You probably heard he's partnered with the Elevani Health Group for gel injections for your knee. Now, I've received this procedure myself. My knee pain is completely gone, but you guys do a lot more than knees at Genesis.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a spinal decompression specialist, we've been able to help people for years with their disc problems, but now teaming up with Elevani Health Group, it's amazing what we can do for knees with the gel injections. We have stem cell injections, but we can also take care of pain anywhere with this new device that we use. It's just an unbelievable procedure. And the crazy thing, it's narcotic free.
And the cool thing is this is covered by the insurance and probably even your Medicare.
Absolutely. Medicare covers it. It is just amazing the results we're seeing with this.
You don't have to live with pain any longer. And your initial consultation is always free. Call for your appointment at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to change the station because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be faster than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to change the station now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could reduce your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-400-8131. That's 1-800-400-8131. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
This is Eric Metaxas. Over the last year, I've been telling you about Liberty University's online degree programs, and many of you have begun completing your education through Liberty. For those of you who have not taken the step, a new year always offers new opportunities. So why not make 2017 the year you finally decide to finish your degree? Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university with over 95,000 students studying around the world through Liberty's online programs. So maybe you've procrastinated. You may have even convinced yourself that you just don't have the time. Well, the only thing standing in the way of completing your college education now is you. So whatever your excuses or reasons, 2017 can be the year you make it happen, but you need to start now. So pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. That's pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. Flexible, affordable, possible. Liberty University online. Dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. Now, more of the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Hello. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. And so Donald Trump issues a set of memos that says sweeping plans to deport undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens. The memos instruct all agents, including Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to identify, capture, and quickly deport every undocumented immigrant they encounter. The memos require undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens, caught entering the country to be placed in detention until their cases are resolved, increase the ability of local police to help in immigration enforcement, the return of 287G, call for the hiring of 10,000 more immigration agents, and allow planning to begin on an expansion of the border wall between the United States and Mexico. The memos make undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens who have been convicted of a crime, the highest priority. Okay, but what if we're talking about a burned out turn signal? Is that good enough? 866-660-5759. Dirk in Waxahachie, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Hello, JD. Yeah, I agree with supporting or enforcing the laws that are on the books, even the burned out turn signal example. It's like they're in custody, they're located, it's time to deport them. But my real question is about the phrase about deporting criminal aliens.
Yes.
Is that like a get out of jail card, or instead of serving time for, if it's 10 days or 10 years or life, are they getting out of jail and deported instead of serving their time?
I think the way it works is that yes, they're getting deported, and yes, they are essentially escaping American jail time. I imagine that if the crime is bad enough, we don't let them leave. We keep them in our jails, and then we deport them. It depends on the crime, and it also depends on whether or not a lot of these guys have already been found guilty and served time, were deported, and then came back. So,
right,
so it has to do with more jurisprudence than anything else. I mean, a lot of this is very strange. We're going to be talking about how the Supreme Court is going to have another swing at just exactly who is covered under the United States Constitution. Okay, I believe that American citizens are. They're trying to figure out whether or not everyone is. And if everyone is, then what is American citizenship worth?
Right. Yeah, there is no right of, or there are no constitutional rights for foreigners. I don't think that.
Yeah, there are human rights. I mean, there are basic rights. Yeah, I mean, habeas corpus, that's a basic one. I believe that you go to something along the line of Magna Carta. Something in that line. But if
the inalienable rights of the Declaration, life,
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, exactly, something along that line. But whatever it is, we gotta define those. Let me get to Ann in Waxahachie. Thanks for joining us, Ann. Hello.
Hi, JD. It's about dang time. I mean, the laws have been on the books for a long time, and I am really glad that he is going to enforce them. And, if you or I had a burned out tail light and they had a warrant for something that we had done illegally, they wouldn't let us go.
You're exactly right.
Why should we let them go?
You're exactly correct. 866-660-5759. Homeland Security saying, okay, we're going to enforce the law. It's not Donald Trump, the evil Donald Trump, trying to run everybody who's illegal out of the country. It's identifying people who are breaking American law and sending them home. That's okay, right? 866-660-5759. This is the Wells Report.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hi, everybody. Dennis Gibbs here. The boat guy. Talking about boats, boating, lakes, marinas, and, well, if it floats, we talk about it. The advice we give is the best you will ever hear. They call it expert advice. Between myself, Boating Royalty, Lake Level Ginger, and Brother Strick, you hear only intelligent talk. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. on 660 a.m. The Answer, the Big Boat and Outdoor Show brought to you by DallasBoatsForSale.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Attention homeowners. Do you or someone you know have a house you'd like to sell? Hello, I'm Dan Franklin. I've been buying and selling real estate right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for over 20 years, and my process is simple. I'll pay you cash, and I'll pay you more. Just listen to what other people are saying after they called me to buy their house.
My name is Brent Patterson. Dan Franklin gave us $30,000 more for our house. Definitely call Dan if you want more money for your house.
I'm Bill Mays. I made an extra $18,000 working with Dan.
My name is Brenda Griffin. Dan Franklin gave us over $15,000 more for our house. Definitely call Dan.
Okay, now it's your turn. Would you like a higher cash offer? I'm Dan Franklin. I'll pay you cash, and I'll pay you more. Call me today at 214-929-5555. That's 214-929-5555.
For 37 years, Abrams Royal Pharmacy has helped many people improve their health. Working as a trusted partner with physicians and patients, we have developed targeted treatment plans and customized wellness programs to meet each patient's unique needs and providing proactive solutions for health and wellness. Abrams Royal Pharmacy has grown to become one of the largest, most innovative, and trusted pharmacies in the U.S. because we spend time listening to our patients and offering wellness consultations with our natural-minded pharmacists. Abrams Royal Pharmacy is located at 8220 Abrams Road in Dallas and 4909 West Park Boulevard in Plano. For more information or to schedule a wellness appointment with natural-minded pharmacist Lark Swafford or Cody Trish, call 214-349-8000 or visit arp-rx.com. That's 214-349-8000 or arp-rx.com. Get healthy, stay healthy, naturally with Abrams Royal Pharmacy. Call 214-349-8000 or visit arp-rx.com.
It's time to honor our veterans with the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. 660 AM The Answer joins with Patriot Mobile to spotlight a veteran each month. If you know a veteran who deserves such an honor, then go to 660amtheanswer.com and nominate them to be Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. Winners will receive a Crossroads Diner gift certificate and an award from Patriot Mobile. Plus, they'll have an opportunity to come to the studios to meet Mark Davis and John David Wells. Go to 660amtheanswer.com to nominate your veteran. That's the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. And so Donald Trump has issued a whole bunch of memos regarding illegal aliens in the United States. And what do those memos say? Those memos say to follow American law. People who are advocates for illegal aliens are now saying that it's, more of that alt-right stuff, this white supremacy thing, which is which is what lost them the election in the first place. Just keep spewing it, okay? Just go ahead, because every time you do that, it's another vote for Donald Trump in 2020. It truly is. You need to come up with some sort of political policy that actually brings Americans a better deal than, say, for example, just putting somebody else down because they're not going along with your political plans to redo the demographics of America, the demographical makeup of this country. You're going to have to come up with better policy. You're just going to have to be better at being Americans instead of being anti-Americans who hate everything that America stands for, and you want deep and resounding change to what? Denigrate the greatest country on earth. There's only one place to go when you're number one. It's down. What are you doing? Robin in Dallas, welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hello there, JD. How are you going from up north?
Oh, I'm going great. What are you doing?
Having walleye on a stick.
A walleye on a stick, don't you know? Holy God.
Hey, I'm ecstatic that he's doing what he's doing, as in getting the laws back in action. I'm disappointed he isn't going to deal favorably against DAPA and DACA. But I do have one other thing that I haven't seen or heard what he's up to is what we can do with these countries that won't take the criminals back. We have to release them out on the street.
Well, he's not going to release them out on the street. I mean, that's why. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, that's what Guantanamo Bay's for.
Well, yeah, but doesn't he have to because of the Supreme Court?
I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that you are forced to release a violent criminal that is too bad for their originating nation to take back. We don't have to do that. You just send them back.
Can you double check that in case I read that wrong?
All right, I'll do that. I will. I'll do that. But I know that you are not mandated by any Supreme Court ruling to allow, let's say, a drug cartel leader out on the street if, say, for example, Mexico won't have them back or Colombia won't have them back. We don't have to release them onto the streets of the United States. I'm sure of it. Let me get to Chris in North Richland Hills. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Mr. Wells, it's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so JD, you've either sparked the proverbial light bulb to go off in front of me or the brick wall. I'm not sure which, but I'm going to trust you to help me sort it out.
Okay.
Listening to you, it seems to me like everything, whether it's immigration, no matter what it is, or the media meltdown, is essentially rhetoric by the left and the liberal media, meaning that they have called a flower or a skunk a flower for so long. People finally just said, okay, fine, skunk is a flower. Even though we knew the skunk wasn't a flower, we just said, okay, we're not going to be able to beat them, so I guess we're going to have to go along with it. I hear constantly, you're the only person that I've heard in a very long time who refers to it as illegal aliens. They're not illegal immigrants. They're illegal aliens.
Yes.
They have no immigration status.
They do not.
And it just drives me up a freaking wall when I see, an interview with somebody, like Hannity was interviewing the guy from Univision. And he kept saying, well, immigrants. And Hannity kept saying illegal aliens.
They're not
illegal
immigrants.
aliens.
They're not immigrants. They're illegal aliens.
That's right. But they keep thinking, it's a definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Here's what's happened. Trump is the insanity breaker. It doesn't work with him. You tell him the skunk is a flower, and he says, are you nuts? It's a skunk. And now we, the people, are finally seeing that, I believe, and saying, you know what? There really is a skunk.
Well, there's no doubt about the fact. There's no doubt about the fact that what I've been talking about over the last several days, and even when Donald Trump got started, he was flushing out all of these anti-American thugs that had been forcing people into statements that weren't true for reasons of political correctness or whatever fascist, fascist circumstances fit the moment. All right. And the thing about it is that Donald Trump just doesn't care about any of that stuff. And so what he ended up doing was calling a shovel, and people said, "My God, that's a shovel." Yeah, that's right. It is a shovel,
Yes,
and
it
that is exactly what it is. And if you have a problem with that, then you've got a problem with shovels, not me telling you that.
Well, Mr. Wells, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. 866-660-5759. Listen to this. The Supreme Court of the United States heard arguments today in a case involving the cross-border shooting of a Mexican teenager who was standing in Mexico. The shooter was a Border Patrol agent who was standing in El Paso. The case may invite prosecution against Border Patrol agents who injure or kill Mexican citizens at a time when the Trump administration is looking to swell the ranks and expand the responsibilities of immigration and customs enforcement. During oral arguments, the justices at times focused on the minute circumstantial details of the highly unusual case, like the fact that both countries are technically responsible for the maintenance of the concrete culvert that winds between the two fences on the border of El Paso and Juarez. Justice Stephen Breyer said, "It's nothing like I've ever seen before." Elena Kagan added, "Whatever it is, it's something very different from most areas where we know exactly whose jurisdiction operates and how." The case began almost 7 years ago when U.S. Border Patrol agent Jesus Mesa Jr. shot and killed Sergio Hernandez, a 15-year-old who was playing with his friends. Mesa was standing in El Paso when he fired the shot, while Hernandez crouched behind a concrete pillar in the fenced-off culvert that is technically in Juarez. Although Mesa initially claimed he was surrounded by Mexican teenagers and felt threatened at the time of the shooting, cell phone videos made it clear Mesa was standing alone with significant distance between himself and Hernandez. In a sign of how much bystander videos have changed the way justice system handles cases against law enforcement agents, Justice Sonia Sotomayor noted that she had watched a video of the shooting on YouTube. If Hernandez had been standing in El Paso, or if he were an American citizen, his family would have been able to sue the Border Patrol. But because he was a Mexican teenager standing in Mexico, lower courts ruled that Hernandez was not protected by the U.S. Constitution. In some limited circumstances, non-citizens outside the U.S. have constitutional protections. In 2008, the Supreme Court ruled that detainees at Guantanamo Bay, which is technically in Cuba, are still functionally under U.S. jurisdiction. But Chief Justice John Roberts asked, if Mexican citizens in Mexico have the same constitutional protections against deadly force by U.S. agents, would those same protections apply to civilian victims of drone strikes across the world? Oh my. It seems to me the principles you're arguing for can't be so narrowly confined, Roberts said. Using the hypothetical example of a drone strike in Iraq, where the drone was piloted in Nevada, he asked, why wouldn't the same analysis apply in that case? Robert Hilliard, the Corpus Christi lawyer arguing on behalf of the teenager's family, insisted the two situations were not comparable. The culvert is unique, citing Hernandez's close proximity to the U.S. Several of the other justices also grappled with the question of what larger principle they would be establishing if they agreed that the Hernandez family had the right to sue. You have a very sympathetic case. So we write some words, and those words you're delighted with because you win, said Breyer. The problem is, other people will read those words. What are the words that we write that enable you to win, which is what you want, that avoids confusion and uncertainty? What words do I use? Great question. The difficulty of drawing a meaningful distinction between the rights of Mexican citizens in the specific concrete culvert and the rights of non-citizens across the rest of the globe is exactly the point. So argued Randolph Ortega, the El Paso lawyer representing the Border Patrol agent. The border is very real and very finite, Ortega told the justices. The U.S. has no de facto jurisdiction over the culvert. Ortega said that if the justices allow the family to sue the Border Patrol, it would make the Border Patrol agents too concerned about the possibility of prosecution to effectively do their jobs. It would completely change the way that officers act. Lee Gallant, the deputy director of the ACLU Immigrants' Right Project. Oh, this is great. The ACLU caring more about immigrants or illegal aliens' rights, or in this case, other nationals, another country's national. They said the Border Patrol should be concerned about the possibility of prosecution. He noted multiple studies that show Border Patrol agents are rarely disciplined when allegations of abuse arise. Between 2010 and 2015, 33 people died in encounters with Border Patrol and Customs agents, but only one agent faced criminal charges. In the absence of civil lawsuits, it will be very difficult to deter Border Patrol abuses, and those abuses have been widespread in the past years. Gallant said holding Border Patrol agents accountable has taken on new urgency in the light of President Donald Trump's pledge to hire 10,000 new agents. When there's been a lack of proper training for Border Patrol agents in the past, part of that was due to the fact that there were so many new hires in such a short time span. The practical significance cannot be overstated. If the 8 justices choose to issue a ruling, they'll do so by the summer. They might also vote to rehear the case once a 9th judge is confirmed, which is what I would suggest they do. Confirmation hearings for Trump's nominee Neil Gorsuch will begin in March. It should be expedited, I think. So what do you think? You see, this is where John Roberts really hit the ball out of the park. Because there is no difference between an American law enforcement officer firing across the border and killing another country's national, a foreign national, and doing the same thing with a drone halfway around the planet being piloted by somebody in Nevada. There is no difference. Unless you see one that I'm missing. If so, by all means, please enlighten me. 866-660-5759. One of the great sports in U.S. border Mexico relations is the giant slingshot throwing baseball-sized rocks at Border Patrol agents. If Border Patrol agents are allowed to be sued by Mexican nationals, they're going to have to fall back way, way far away from the border, which leaves a buffer zone for more illegal activity. It's already too far inland anyway. That's the way I see it. 866-660-5759. Let me get to Carl in Fort Worth. Carl, hi.
Yes, I was wanting to ask you how long has Sanctuary City's been around, and who is the politician we can blame?
That's a great question. I will have the answer for you coming up right after this break. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Carl wants to know, where was the first sanctuary city? Who's responsible for creating the concept known as a sanctuary city? And who do we have to, quote, thank, unquote? That answer's next on 660 AM, The Answer.
Hugh Hewitt has a suggestion to fill the National Security Advisor position.
Can we just appoint John Bolton as the National Security Advisor, Mr. President?
Can we just do that?
You don't like leaks. You do like order. You've got to get information from all the agencies. It's got to be handled fairly by competent people who understand the way the world works. Can we just please move to Ambassador Bolton?
The Hugh Hewitt Show, weekday mornings at 5, right before Mark Davis at 7 on 660 AM, The Answer.
You need a plan as you get closer to retirement, a plan that will take you from where you are now to the retirement you've always dreamed about. The first step on that path is to tune into Wealth Smart, Saturdays at 9 a.m. Your host is Reed Johnson, president of Lake Point Advisory Group. You only retire once, but Reed helps people retire every day. Don't miss Wealth Smart every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at lakepointadvisorygroup.com for information on our free area stake dinner seminars and start working on your dream retirement now.
Hey, it's Mark Davis and my friends at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. There's a ton of reasons why I have loved these people for years. Incredible selection, fantastic prices. I've bought a bunch of things from them and brought them a bunch of things. They buy gold, silver, and jewelry. Right now, let's talk about gold. They have bullion available for immediate delivery. Got the benefit of privacy when buying from Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. You don't have to give out a bunch of personal information like you do with online retailers. Walk out of Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange with your gold in hand. No waiting weeks for it to arrive in the mail. So let's go to Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Go to dgse.com, dgse.com, or the actual stores, 4 of them. Brand new in Dallas at the northeast corner of Preston and LBJ. Also Arlington, Euless, and Southlake. Wonderful folks, Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. You'll love them. The price, the selection, the gold you can deal with right there in person. Walk out with your gold at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, dgse.com.
Hey, for years now, you've heard us talk about the great success Genesis Back and Neck has with spinal decompression. Well, now they've teamed up with the medical providers of Elevani Health Group to offer truly amazing treatments for knee pain and knee arthritis. If you've been told you need knee surgery, or if you suffer from chronic knee pain, then listen to this. Frank Reed here to tell you about the gel injections that I got from the Elevani Health Group working with Genesis Back and Neck. These treatments are virtually painless. They work immediately and the results are long-lasting. The bottom line is that these treatments really do work. My knee pain is completely gone. They can see you the same day in most cases. You don't have to wait months, and the treatments are usually covered by your insurance, even Medicare. Call today for your free consultation, 817-328-1922, or go online, Elevani, Elevani health.com. Don't suffer with the knee pain any longer. Call 817-328-1922.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Sleep Experts. I told you the President's Day sale was going to end soon, and it ends on Sunday. Your window closing to enjoy up to $500 off top name brands, including Tempur-Pedic. Hurry on in. Sleep Experts. Get 4 years interest-free financing on top name brands. Call 1-866-780-6220 for credit costs and terms. Wonderful people, great mattresses. Lisa and I have been Sleep Experts customers for a long, long time. And they've got the Expert Match technology. That's where you come in. They got a lot of mattresses. You got to sort through which one's right for you. You lie down on the Expert Match mattress. It figures out what your needs are based on what your body brings to the table, so to speak. And then you go check out 4 or 5 mattresses, pick your favorite, and boom, you're saving all kinds of money. Up to $500 off the top name brands. Consumer Choice Award winners for 11 years. SleepExperts.com for more details and to find the Sleep Experts near you. SleepExperts.com. Big sale ends Sunday. SleepExperts.com.
Toby Mac's Hits Deep Tour is back with the songs that hit you deep. Get ready to sing along all night long with Matt Marr and Mandisa. Mac Powell from Third Day. Plus Holland, Ryan Stevenson, and Capital Kings. Food for the Hungry presents Toby Mac's Hits Deep Tour. The bands you love, the songs you sing along to on the radio. Toby Mac's Hits Deep Tour with Matt Marr, Mandisa, Mac Powell from Third Day, Holland, Ryan Stevenson, and Capital Kings. An awakening event from the Awakening Foundation.
A Dallas Baptist University concert series event. Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie, February 24th and 25th. Tickets at axs.com.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Police investigator Pete Springair isn't likely to be among those mocking President Trump for his remarks about refugees in Sweden. Trump's comments at a Florida campaign rally over the weekend, which some took as a misstatement about a supposed terror attack, dovetail with what Spring Air's been saying, seeing a typical week in Örebro, Sweden. 5 rapes, 3 assaults, a pair of extortions, blackmail, an attempted murder, violence against police, and a robbery made up Spring Air's caseload for a 5-day period earlier this month. According to a February 3rd Facebook post, he wrote, the suspects were all from Muslim-majority countries, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, and Turkey, save for one Swedish man nabbed in a drug-related case. Muhammad, Mahmoud, Ali, again and again. Springer, who was briefly investigated for possible hate crime incitement based on his post, managed to elucidate what Trump had only hinted at during a Florida campaign speech. Swedish police investigator Peter Springer in trouble. He said, look what happened last night in Sweden, said Trump. Sweden, who would believe this? It took in large numbers. They're having problems they never thought possible. Reporting the news is reporting the news. It doesn't make any difference whose political ox gets gored. If you rape somebody in Stockholm, Sweden, you should report the news. That's the way it goes. This is the Wells Report.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, owner of Statewide Remodeling. Something to think about when you're considering a bathroom or a kitchen remodeling project. National statistics show that almost 70% of residential remodeling companies do not stay in business over 5 years. 50% never make it past 3. The reasons vary, but the bottom line for the homeowner is you end up with a project with no one to stand behind the work. Something to consider when you think you're getting a great price from 2 guys in a truck or a franchise remodeling company who got into the business at a franchise show down at the convention center. Not saying they're not good companies out there, but you can spend your next 2-week vacation trying to figure out who they are, or you can call Statewide Remodeling. We've been improving Texas homes for almost 23 years. We offer a satisfaction and workmanship guarantee, both in writing. We even have 100% financing options if you want to go that route. And right now we're offering 20% off your entire project. And while supplies last, you'll get a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest with purchase. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095.
Do you have the next $1 million idea? Let Idea Shares help you with the early stages of ideation. You can test your idea, protect your idea, and most importantly, profit from your ideas. Whether your idea is digital, electrical, mechanical, intellectual, or a service-based business, test its relevancy with Idea Shares. We are the internet's most robust idea vetting machine. Your idea can change the world. Act now. Ideashares.com. The future is now. Ideashares.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. The Trump administration increasing the number of immigrants facing deportation.
The guidance out from the Homeland Security Department does make it clear that those convicted of crimes will be at the top of the list, and those protected under DACA, children brought here by their parents, will remain protected.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. The rain has stopped in Northern California. Flooding concerns have not.
Roughly 500 people were evacuated in San Joaquin County when a levee breached. Crews say they were able to fix it, but they kept the evacuation order in place temporarily. The spillway at the Don Pedro Reservoir in Stanislaus County, east of San Jose, had to be used for the first time in 20 years, and residents along the Tuolumne River were advised to move to higher ground.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Another major storm expected this weekend. Another record close for the Dow, the 10th since President Trump's inauguration. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, everybody. Dennis Gibbs here. You know, the boat guy. Talking about boats, boating, lakes, marinas, and, well, if it floats, we talk about it. The advice we give is the best you will ever hear. They call it expert advice. Between myself, Boating Royalty, Lake Level Ginger, and Brother Strick, you hear only intelligent talk. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer, the Big Boat and Outdoor Show brought to you by DallasBoatsForSale.com.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, get no money or no credit financing, team up with local investing partners to make money while learning about the business, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local DFW area real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Texas. We meet on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge in Arlington. You can register to attend for free by calling 800-997-4830. This month's topic is the DFW Real Estate State of the Union Address. Call 800-997-4830. Write it down. That's 800-997-4830 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable Texas real estate training program for free. Brought to you by the DFW Real Estate Investment Association.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, this is the time of year when you start hearing all sorts of crazy gimmicks from air conditioning companies. But if you've listened to our ads over the years, you know that free furnace you hear about, it's not really free. And neither is that 20 inches of insulation or that free extended warranty. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we don't bundle things in the price and call it free because that's just the gimmick. We'd rather keep our prices low and let our customers choose what they want. We do things a little different on service, too. Our techs don't work on commission, and they don't try to sell you equipment when repair is all you need. So if you're in the market for heating and air conditioning service or replacement, we actually invite you to call 2 other companies, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning. You'll see how we've done business for over 20 years, gimmick-free. Our number is 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
I used to play a lot of sports in college, but when I got older, my legs started to burn and ache, making it hard to work out. Then I noticed those varicose and spider veins. I couldn't believe it. I thought this only happened to my mom and her friends.
The professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million personalized procedures for their patients, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring your legs back to health in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I called Vein Clinics of America, and they fixed my legs. No more ugly veins. Now I can run and do squats again.
Guys, get back in the game. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors and learn how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call now. 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Calling all business owners. Are you running your business without being incorporated? If you answered yes, you are now eligible to incorporate in just 10 minutes. It's a quick incorporation event from Incorporate.com, designed to save small business owners from the risk of losing everything. Just call this number for your free 10-minute incorporation guide, 1-800-500-9551. If you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued. It's you, too, which means you could lose everything. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why small business owners across the country are now scrambling to incorporate during this event. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide while supplies last. 1-800-500-9551. Incorporate.com doesn't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. But hurry and call now while they're still giving these 10-minute incorporation guides away for free. Call 1-800-500-9551. That's 1-800-500-9551.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Where did sanctuary cities come from? Which politicians do we have to thank for them? Well, the basic fundamental story of a sanctuary city was written in 1979 in Los Angeles. The LAPD and Daryl Gates, who was then the chief, came up with something called Special Order 40. Special Order 40. Officers shall not initiate police action with the objective of discovering the alien status of a person. Officers shall not arrest nor book persons for violations of Title 8, Section 1325 of the U.S. Immigration Code. That's illegal entry into the United States. All right? So Special Order 40 is where all that came from. So we'll have more about that coming up a little bit later on. But anyway, if you wanted to know where sanctuary cities came from, now you know. You have the LA City Council in 1979 to thank. Joining us is a guy who is the president of the London Center for Policy Research, a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. His latest work is Leading from Behind, the Obama Doctrine and U.S. Retreat from International Affairs. He happens to be a big fan of Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, the new National Security Advisor. He now joins us here tonight to tell us a little bit more about the general and his thoughts on the Trump administration's national security team. Dr. London, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Well, JD, a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.
Let's talk a little bit about what you think about H.R. McMaster.
Well, H.R. McMaster is a true military intellectual. The book that he wrote about Vietnam is, in my judgment, a classic. It tells an awful lot about the arrogance of political leaders during that time without a real understanding of what we were trying to achieve. He points out that if you're going to go into battle, you should have an exit strategy. And the exit strategy has to be clear and well understood by your commanders. That was not true in Vietnam. I think the important thing to understand about McMaster is that he is truly a strategic thinker. Well, a kind of man who you would like to see in a position where he has some role in national security. And now, God willing, he will be playing that role.
It's really amazing to see a general of his stature still on the job after really taking some very serious shots at the United States Army, which he served for decades.
Well, he took shots that were very fair shots. And I think what he was trying to point out is that many of the politicians did not understand the ramifications of so many of the decisions that they made without a real understanding of what the military commitment would be. One of the problems in Vietnam was that there was a dramatic difference between the McNamara view, which was largely based on a kind of empirical view of the world, and the reality that you were facing on the battlefield. And that kind of dichotomy was one of the reasons why the United States got in trouble.
And certainly because somebody was trying to come up with bombing schedules and so on and so forth from the Oval Office to the White House. There was always that.
That's right. You cannot have lawyers making decisions for those in the battlefield. In fact, it's one of the problems that I think we face in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Let's talk about that.
Problem.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that gets us to leading from behind, the Obama doctrine and the U.S. retreat from international affairs. H.R. McMaster is going to have to confront some of the huge problems left over from that very policy. So let's start there, and let's try to bring it forward to a point where how does this national security team cope with what's left?
Well, I think that you raised, of course, a very significant question, and it's a question that's really a challenge for the Trump administration. What you had in the 8 years that Obama's been president is a belief that the arc of history is moving in our direction and that it was not necessary for any kind of American intervention. In fact, what you might describe this period as is a period of retreat, withdrawal from international affairs. It's very difficult for me to call it a foreign policy because it was neither foreign nor policy. But what I think is important to understand is that during this period, the United States alienated so many of those nations on whom we depend. And so if you look at the Middle East, for example, and I've spent some time with President Sisi of Egypt, he said to me on a number of occasions, I love America. I've actually served in Carlisle. I was trained in the United States, and I love America. But America no longer loves me. What does he mean by that? He means that the United States could provide spare parts for the Apaches that are being used to fight the war in the Sinai against Al-Qaeda. And the United States has those spare parts sitting in Fort Hood. Why does he sign a strategic military agreement with Russia for $2 billion? Largely because he cannot make an agreement with the United States. And so here you have a nation that is clearly one of the Sunni nations that would serve as a counterweight to Iran and its ambitions in the Middle East, but alienated completely from the United States and the kind of equation that I think makes sense for America at this moment.
That's incredible.
Now, what Trump has to do is to once again restore that level of confidence in the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia, in the King in Jordan, in the King in Bahrain. What he's got to do is to make sure that people understand if the United States gives its word, it means something.
Well, certainly that was blown to bits with the red line in Syria. That was a huge mistake.
That's right. And, what the president did at that moment was in a way repudiate Egypt because it was Sadat in 1973 who forced the Russians out of the Middle East. And there was a belief that the Russians were a rather nefarious influence in the Middle East. Here's the United States government, the opponent of Russia, theoretically, inviting the Russians in to deal with the poison gas question because we refused to deal with it, even though a red line had been drawn in the sand. It's rather remarkable.
Please don't get me started on that, because that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen a Secretary of State do. He's standing there in front of a bunch of press agents from various places around the world, and somebody says, is there anything that Syria could do to avoid the coming hammer from the United States because Bashar al-Assad went ahead and gassed citizens and crossed this infamous red line? And then John Kerry, because he's stupid, said, well, he could give up all of his chemical weapons. And Russia goes, hey, we'll take them. And then before you know it, Bashar al-Assad is still in charge of that country when he should have been, he should have been breathing dirt for a long time.
Well, look, I think you stated it very effectively. The fact is that when that civil war in Syria began in 2011, there was a real opportunity for the United States to intervene on behalf of the Free Syrian Army. It was a Free Syrian Army at that point. But of course, Obama chose to do nothing. And so he exacerbated the situation when people were looking for America to provide some sort of assistance and some sort of counterweight to the role that, of course, the extraordinary rebels were playing. And again, you didn't hear that. You didn't get an American president saying what was necessary at that time. And that's what I meant in the book by the withdrawal of the United States from the role that America played since the end of World War II as a kind of force for equilibrium in the world.
Dr. Herb London is our guest. He is the president of the London Center for Policy Research, author of Leading from Behind, the Obama Doctrine and the U.S. Retreat from International Affairs. Again, I know you've explained it to me. It's probably some sort of psychological block, doctor, but I still can see absolutely no redeeming feature of anything having to do with that Obama doctrine. As a matter of fact, the words Obama doctrine have this, there's an infamous ring to them that says that might be the permanent name for whatever this strategy was.
Well, look, I think that's probably right. I think that his reputation has been besmirched. there is no legacy that remains with the Obama doctrine because there's nothing to it. It has torn the world asunder, and what you have is a globe that is in disarray in large part because of a president who could not play the kind of role that you would expect from the United States. And this isn't to suggest that the United States should intervene everywhere. That's a kind of exaggeration. What you had with Obama is a binary view of the world that was completely incorrect. He kept saying it's either appeasement and conciliation or it's war. Well, that's absolutely silly because there are so many variables that exist in between those two extremes. You don't want to cast a spell eye. You're not interested in going to war, but at the same time, you don't want to conciliate on every issue. And there's a lot that the United States could have done and did not. And that is precisely the argument that I make now, even with those people who are saying, well, Trump wants to take the war standards, and recognizing as well that in any form of escalation scenario, you increase the pressures proportionally, gradually, incrementally. That's what you do. But again, Obama was so naive about foreign policy that we found ourselves in a very, very different situation.
Yeah, it seems as though he really honestly believed he could just sit down at a table with these people and reason things out.
He did believe that. And again, there was a kind of Marxist view that there's a kind of historical determinism, that history moves in a certain direction. All you have to do is sit down and wait. It'll all move in the right direction. And at some point, you really will not have to worry about what is happening. People may be irresponsible today, but tomorrow they'll be responsible. And as responsible citizens, the world will be quiescent. It's a completely naive view. History moves because individuals and states move history.
That's a brilliant statement. Dr. Herb London, our guest. Okay, so Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster joins what has to be the most military stars-rich cabinet I've ever seen. If indeed there is some kind of projection of power move needed to be done by the United States, Donald Trump doesn't have to go very far for the best possible advice on earth.
I think he's got an extraordinary team in John Kelly and in Jim Mattis and now with McMaster. I think this is truly an outstanding group. I'm also a great fan of Mike Flynn, and I don't think that Mike was treated effectively. But leave that issue aside for the moment. The team that he's assembled is truly outstanding and made up of people who understand not only military deployment, but a kind of larger global understanding of the strategy that is necessary for the United States.
Well, I certainly hope so, because I think some of that's going to be tested, and I think it's going to be tested rather soon. We have Russia out there, but I'm not exactly sure that they're trying to become the Soviet Union again and present the United States with a Cold War counterweight. That doesn't seem to be what their motivation is. If anything, I think they'd really rather like to work with the United States on solving a lot of problems.
Well, look, there's no question, and again, I couldn't agree with you more. There are areas where there's potential convergence. The Russians have their problems with the Chechens and with extremists in their own society. So they're very much worried about militant Islam. And then on the other hand, there are areas of divergence. Look, what's happened after the Budapest Accord in Crimea is an outrage. And Obama never said a word about it. The Russians said, look, if the Ukrainians give up their nuclear weapons, we will provide for the sovereignty of this country. And then they invade the eastern part of Ukraine as well as take over the Crimea. So again, you can't always count on the Russians. They have their own state policies. And as Palmerston pointed out in the 19th century, every nation operates on a basis of its own interests. The Russians have their own interests, and they very often diverge with American interests. It's not coincidental that the Russians are now the strong horse in the Eastern Mediterranean. Why? Because they have a carrier force in Tartus, and they put together a rather formidable air force in Latakia, in Syria. We have moved the Sixth Fleet out of the Mediterranean, so they become the strong horse in the Mediterranean. When the Arab nations look for some sort of support in that part of the world, there was a kind of reflexive response to the United States, a belief that the United States would be there as a great power in the region. It is not the power in the region. This is one of the reasons why I say Trump has to restore the reputation of the United States and restore the word of the United States in that part of the world.
Leading from Behind, the Obama Doctrine and the U.S. Retreat from International Affairs, by the author and our guest, Dr. Herb London. Sir, thank you so much for your time. I can't believe how much I've learned in the 10 or 12 minutes that we just had.
Well, JD, look, it's a great pleasure to be with you anytime. You do a great job, by the way, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's high praise coming from you. I can't believe you said it. Thank you so much for sharing your very busy time with us. Dr. Herb London, you've got to get the book, Leading from Behind, The Obama Doctrine and the U.S. Retreat from International Affairs. Another big brain guy on the Wells Report telling you important stuff. We'll be back with more coming up in just a moment.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. There are some services you can seek, and if you don't find the best company first, that's all right. Just find a better company. Foundation repair does not apply. You want the best company first because a job done badly is a nightmare. Abacus Foundation Repair is there, the best company to call first at 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, or abacusfoundationrepair.com. A+ from the Better Business Bureau for 6 straight years, recommended by the world's leading service company review website since 2001. When you have Abacus repair your foundation, they'll include a free engineer's report. That's a $600 to $800 value. Millennium composite pilings for the strongest foundation solution, and they're the only company offering them in North Texas. So Abacus Foundation Repair, call the right company first, 972-406-9000. A tech on hand at all times to make sure you're taken care of. 972-406-9000. That's 972-406-9000 or abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. Now there's finally a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, and if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 days. So call now, 1-800-400-2199. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. To guarantee your 10-day in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-2199. Again, that's 1-800-400-2199.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to change the station because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be faster than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to change the station now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could reduce your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-400-8131. That's 1-800-400-8131. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131.
Ready and reliable, anytime, night or day. When your plumbing's got problems or your drains are clogged, that's when you need AAA. You go to AAA-auger.com.
Is your home ready for winter? Are your pipes ready to stand up to freezing temperatures? Are you worried about a natural gas leak or a sewer backup? The last thing you need is a house full of people and a floor full of water from a clogged or broken pipe. For a free home plumbing evaluation, call AAA Auger Plumbing Services. where there's never a charge for coming out and no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Call AAA Auger Plumbing Services 24-hour hotline now at 877-999-1979. That's 877-999-1979. License M37445.
When your plumbing's got problems or your drains are clogged, go to AAA-auger.com.
660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
Come on down.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells, and so this Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, noted writer, intellectual, who headed a unit dedicated to anticipating future military challenges, is going to be the new national security advisor. I agree with Dr. Herb London, our guest moments ago, who said that this guy he's the Michael Jordan of this business. He's been working on anticipating future military challenges. And now he can take all of that work and wait for those challenges to appear and have all the work done on what you're supposed to do under those circumstances, completed, ready to go, and then put quickly into effect. McMaster is stepping into a job occupied for less than a month by Michael Flynn, one of Trump's closest campaign advisors. That was really very, very sad. Michael Flynn was the victim of a political vendetta by a couple of Obama administration holdovers, specifically John Bremer, CIA director, and John Clapper, Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Those two guys wanted to damage Michael Flynn beyond recovery, and they pulled it off. And the United States tumbled just a little bit closer to one of those military dictatorships in Central America when it happened. And that goes right under the names of Bremer and Clapper. So just keep that in mind. McMaster is a protege of Defense Secretary Jim Mattis. He wrote a 1997 book on the Vietnam War called Dereliction of Duty, Johnson, McNamara, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Lies That Led to Vietnam. It is absolutely required reading for many national security officials. The book detailed the failings of the Joint Chiefs of Staff during the Vietnam War, pointing out the top officers were silent in the face of President Johnson's decision to pursue the war without a sufficient force to win. McMaster's had been calling for larger and better equipped army. He had been calling for a larger and better equipped army to face growing threats to national security. The Army unit plans were announced recently to grow the ranks, has been shedding soldiers. The new National Security Advisor warned the Senate in testimony last year that the Army had shrunk its ranks too far and lacked the new weaponry it needed to keep pace with U.S. enemies. It had been outranged and outgunned by many potential adversaries, he told a panel of the Armed Services Committee in April. Advanced weapons means the Army's main armored vehicles, the Bradley fighting vehicle and the Abrams tank, will soon be obsolete, he said. The Army has no plans to replace either vehicle. Senator John McCain, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, criticized aspects of Trump's tenure, but said he gives the president great credit for this decision, as well as his national security cabinet choices. I could not imagine a better, more capable national security team than the one we have right now. So there we go. Herb London, all over it. And our guest on the Wells Report, don't forget that book, Leading from Behind, the Obama Doctrine. If you want to know what was going through President Obama's head, this is just as good a book as any. It's very, very difficult for people to wrap their mind around what President Obama was trying to get done. It seemed to be that it was a mysterious and vaporous idea that only he had full command of. And at the end of the day, it accomplished very little. And what it did accomplish was damaging to the United States. At least That's the first draft of history. We'll see how it gets revised in the coming years. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
What if you could have an experience of a lifetime this year, something that goes beyond the mundane and gives you a unique perspective, not a vacation, an opportunity to change your life? I'm Mike Gallagher here. A timely and important expedition to the Holy Land of Israel awaits you. Make plans now for the Stand With Israel tour happening this fall. Join me on a 9-day trip to Israel that will offer you firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. We'll introduce you to the geopolitical, economic, and security dynamics of a truly remarkable place. Get a behind-the-scenes view into many of the places you've read and heard about all your life, all during Jerusalem's 50th anniversary. The Western Wall, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, and so much more, with expert guides, important lectures at key sites, all in the comfort and safety of first-class accommodations. Look forward to something special this year. Stand With Israel for the details about this all-inclusive trip happening October 22nd through November the 1st.
Look forward to something special this year. Stand With Israel. For details about this all-inclusive trip happening this fall, visit 660amtheanswer.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. Do you always feel like you're reaching for your reading glasses? Pick up a book, reach for the reading glasses. Get a text, reach for the reading glasses. Open a menu at a restaurant, reach for the reading glasses. Here's an idea. Reach for the phone. Find a way out of this. 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay.com and ask how they can help you overcome this constant reaching for the readers. A procedure designed with you in mind. Climate Evangelista Eye Center, they've helped a ton of folks restore their reading vision, and they want to help you, but you got to call them. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay, I-N-L-A-Y. Myinlay.com refers to the corneal inlay. Evening and weekend appointments available to discuss it. They're in Arlington, Plano, and Dallas. Free consultation with Climate Evangelista at 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020. Tell them Mark Davis sent you. 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay.com.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a Real Estate Investor Association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, get no money or no credit financing, team up with local investing partners to make money while learning about the business, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't. From a traveling pitch man. Come DFW area real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Texas. We meet on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge in Arlington. You can register to attend for free by calling 800-997-4830. This month's topic is the DFW Real Estate State of the Union Address. Call 800-997-4830. Write it down. That's 800-997-4830 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable Texas real estate training program for free. Brought to you by the DFW Real Estate Investment Association.
If you're a business owner, I want you to imagine standing on home plate in front of a sold-out crowd of 50,000 raving fans at a professional baseball game. They give you the microphone and you have 60 seconds to tell the crowd why they should do business with you. Out of 50,000 people, do you think you might get some new customers? Sure you would. Now imagine you could do that in front of 4 sold-out baseball games. That's 200,000 people. Did you know that's how many people listen to 660 AM The Answer every week? And you have the opportunity to stand in front of the 660 AM The Answer microphone and get 60 seconds to tell our raving fans all about your business. You think you'd get new customers if you did that? You bet. The businesses you hear on 660 AM The Answer are knocking it out of the park with new customers. If you're open to seeing how much it costs to advertise your business on 660 AM The Answer, send an email request to advertise@ksky.com. That's advertise@ksky.com. Let's play ball.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyberburst and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Who rules the United States? Donald Trump, elected president last year by winning 306 electoral votes. He pledged to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. to overturn the system of politics that had left the nation's capital and major financial and tech centers flourishing, but large swaths of the country mired in stagnation and decay. What truly matters, he said in his inaugural address, is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. Matthew Continetti, in the pages of the Washington Free Beacon, writes this. He says, is it? By any historic and constitutional standard, the people elected Donald Trump and endorsed his program of nation-state populist reform. Yet over the last few weeks, America has been in the throes of unprecedented revolt. Not of the people against the government. That happened last year. But of the government against the people. What this says about the state of American democracy, what it portends for the future, is incredibly disturbing. There is, of course, the case of Michael Flynn. He made a lot of enemies inside the government during his career, suffice it to say. When he exposed himself as vulnerable, those enemies pounced. But consider the means, anonymous and possibly illegal leaks of private conversations. Yet the conversation in question was with a foreign national. No one doubts we spy on ambassadors. But we aren't supposed to spy on Americans without probable cause. We most certainly are not supposed to disclose the results of our spying in the pages of the Washington Post because it suits a partisan or personal agenda. That was, by the way, the personal vendetta I referred to moments ago. Laid at the feet of John Bremer, former director of the CIA, and James Clapper, former director of national intelligence. It was a case of current and former national security officials using their positions, their sources, their methods to crush a political enemy for the sake of politics. No one but supporters of the president seem to be disturbed. Why? Because we are meant to believe that the mysterious, elusive, nefarious, and to date unproven connection between Donald Trump and the Kremlin is more important than the norms of intelligence, the decisions of the voters, and the laws of the land. But why should we believe that? And who elected these officials to make this judgment for us? Flynn is not just the only example of nameless bureaucrats working to undermine and ultimately overturn the results of last year's election. According to the New York Times, civil servants at the EPA are lobbying Congress to reject Donald Trump's nominee to run the agency. It is because Scott Pruitt lacks qualifications? No. Is it because he's ethically compromised? No. The reason is the opposition that Pruitt is a critic of the way the EPA runs its business during the presidency of Barack Obama. He has a policy difference with the men and women who are soon to be his employees. Up until, this month, the normal course of action was for civil servants to follow the directions of a political appointee who served as proxies for the elected president. These days, an architect of the overreaching and anti-democratic waters of the United States regulation worries that her boss will be overturned, so she undertakes the extraordinary means to defeat her potential boss. But a change in policy is a risk of Democrat politics. Nowhere does it say in the Constitution that the decisions of government employees are to be unquestioned and preserved forever. Yet that is precisely the implication of this unprecedented protest. I can't think of any other time when the people in the bureaucracy have done this. A professor of government tells the newspaper. That sentence does not leave the author of this piece, reassured. Once again, Matthew Continenti. Opposition to the president takes many forms. Senate Democrats have slowed confirmations to the most sluggish pace since George Washington. Much of the New York and Beltway media does not really function as a sort of does really function. I'm sorry. Much of the New York and Beltway media functions as a sort of opposition party, to the degree that reporters celebrated the sacking of Flynn as a partisan victory for journalism. Discontent manifests itself in direct actions such as the Women's March. But here's the difference. Legislative roadblocks, adversarial journalists, public marches are typical of a constitutional democracy. They're spelled out in our founding documents, the Senate and its rules, and the rights to speech, a free press, and assembly. Where in those documents is it written the regulators have a right not to be questioned, opposed, overturned, and indeed fired, that their intelligence analysts can just call up David Ignatius and spill the beans whenever they feel like it? The last few weeks have confirmed that there are two systems of government in the United States. First is the system of government outlined in the U.S. Constitutions. Its checks, its balances, its dispersion of power, its protection of individual rights. Donald Trump was elected to serve 4 years as chief executive of this system, whether you like it or not. Listen carefully. The second system is comprised of those elements not expressly addressed by the founders. The permanent government, the so-called administrative state of bureaucracies, agencies, quasi-public organizations, regulatory bodies and commissions, rule writers, and Byzantine network of administrative law courts. This is the government of unelected judges with lifetime appointments who, far from compromising the least dangerous branch, now presume to think they know more about America's national security interests than the man elected as commander-in-chief, indeed, given the role of protecting American national security interests and foreign policy by the Constitution of the United States. For some time, especially during Democrat presidencies, the second system of government was able to live with the first one, but that time has ended. The two systems are now in competition. The contest is more vicious and frightening because more than offices are at stake. The fight is not about policy, it's about wealth, status, the privileges of an exclusive class. In our time, as in Andrew Jackson's, the ruling class claim a monopoly not just on the economy and society, but also on the legitimate authority to regulate and restrain it, and even on the language in which matters are discussed, writes Christopher Caldwell in a brilliant essay in the winter 2016-17 Claremont Review of Books. Elites have full spectrum dominance of the whole semiotic system. What just happened in American politics is outside the system of meetings elites usually rely on. Mike Pence's neighbors on Tennyson Street not only cannot accept their election loss, they cannot fathom it. They are searching for their old prerogatives in much the same way that recent amputees are said to feel an urge to scratch itches on limbs that are no longer there. Their instincts tell them to believe or disbelieve what they rationally know. Their arguments have focused not on the new administration's policies or its competence, but on its very legitimacy. Donald Trump did not cause the divergence between government of, by, and for the people and government of, by, and for the residents of Cleveland Park and Arlington and Montgomery and Fairfax counties. But he did exacerbate it. He forced the winners of the global economy and the members of the D.C. establishment to reckon with the fact that they are resented, envied, opposed, and despised by half of the country. But this recognition did not humble the entrenched incumbents of the administrative state. It radicalized them to the point where they are readily accepting, even cheering on, the existence of a deep state beyond the control of the people and elected officials. Who rules the United States? It says at the top of the Constitution that we, the people of the United States, rule this land. But in point of fact, maybe we don't know. In point of fact, the group that I call the real Americans aren't Americans at all. Maybe what they are is deep state agents of irrevocable of an irrevocable American demise. Absent the will or input or change by the people of the United States. If you've been hearing the terms deep state recently, this is why. This is the column. I figured you'd like to hear it. The deep state is very much like something else we've heard from a previous president of the United States. President Dwight David Eisenhower once talked of the military-industrial complex. The deep state is the bureaucratic version of all of that. Because while they are not responsible for actually training the troops, actually providing equipment for the troops, they are responsible for paying for all of it. They are responsible for writing the rules of how these pieces of equipment are to be acquired. The work that they represent should be functionary. But in a lot of ways, it just simply isn't. In previous days of the United States of America, civil service rules forbade members of the deep state from acting out in this fashion. It was almost impossible to get fired as a civil service employee. But going rogue was the one ethical breach that would get you canned in the blink of an eye. And so where are we now? Now what we've done is we've raised an incredible group of American governmental bureaucrats, not just empowered by their positions, not just empowered by the fact that back in the day, most people just said, well, they're functionaries, they're just paper passers, that's what they do. They have realized that they are the fourth branch of government. The bureaucrats. And thanks to the fact that they have their own union now, the SEIU and others, they are empowered to act independently of the government. In civil service days, they were a part of the government. Now they serve the government until it's time for a new contract. And then all bets are off. And what of we, the people of the United States? The hubris that led to the candidacy of Hillary Clinton, the ascendance of the progressive left during the Obama administration, that incredible hubris that said the people of the United States really didn't matter. The Constitution really didn't matter. The laws of the land didn't really matter because we knew what was best for America. We knew what was best for the American people. That amazing arrogance may have taken root behind the scenes in the great big buildings of Washington. Not among those of big brains, not among those policymakers, but the paper pushers who suddenly realize that there's gold in them thar reports and properly manipulated. The possibilities are endless. But like any deadly parasite, this particular group, this particular ideology, this particular feeling that the deep state can indeed affect the real state, will surely kill its host in much less time than we would dare fear. And so what do we do? Well, what I would suggest is we start encouraging those people in the cabinet, those people who are secretaries of these big government bureaucratic agencies, to start firing first and asking questions later. This is the Wells Report.
You need a plan as you get closer to retirement, a plan that will take you from where you are now to the retirement you've always dreamed about. The first step on that path is to tune into Wealth Smart, Saturdays at 9 a.m. Your host is Reed Johnson, president of Lake Point Advisory Group. Only retire once, but Reed helps people retire every day. Don't miss Wealth Smart every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at lakepointadvisorygroup.com for information on our free area stake dinner seminars and start working on your dream retirement now.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again, just like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, this is the time of year when you start hearing all sorts of crazy gimmicks from air conditioning companies. But if you've listened to our ads over the years, you know that free furnace you hear about, it's not really free. And neither is that 20 inches of insulation or that free extended warranty. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we don't bundle things in the price and call it free because that's just a gimmick. We'd rather keep our prices low and let our customers choose what they want. We do things a little different on service, too. Our techs don't work on commission, and they don't try to sell you equipment when repair is all you need. So if you're in the market for heating and air conditioning service or replacement, we actually invite you to call 2 other companies, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning. You'll see how we've done business for over 20 years, gimmick-free. Our number is 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
My pregnancy, I started getting spider and bulging veins in my legs. For years, I'd watched my mom suffer with painful, knotty varicose veins, but she was too embarrassed to do anything. I love my mom and my legs. So I decided to take us both to Vein Clinics of America.
The caring professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million procedures, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
Vein Clinics of America doctors are amazing. I got my beautiful legs back. Mom? Thank you, honey. My legs are pain-free for the first time in years. I can wear dresses again.
Start the new year right by getting your beautiful legs back. Call to schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors. 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Tim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take balance of nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Toby Mac's Hits Deep Tour is back.
Speak light to the deadest, darkest night.
Get ready to sing along with Matt and Mark and Mandisa. Mac Powell from Third Day, plus Holland, Ryan Stevenson, and Capital Kings, an awakening event from the Awakening Foundation.
A Dallas Baptist University concert series event. Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie, February 24th and 25th. Tickets at AXS.com.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. Now, the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. There are lots of very happy children, especially in Harrison City, Pennsylvania. Lunch is drastically different now at Penn Trafford High School. They're no longer bound by federal food regulations. The freedom from the strict restrictions on calories, fat, sugar, salt, and other elements came at the expense of federal funding to help cover free and reduced price lunches for some students. But District Business Manager Brett Lagos said the decision is already paying off in year one. We've lost to date about $40,000 worth of reimbursement, but our sales are up $50,000 over last year. Participation has gone from about 25% to 45%. We're still providing free lunches to all those students who would have been eligible under the school lunch program. Ditching federal regulations allowed school food workers to redesign the cafeteria from a funnel system with a few choices to a food court model with a deli, a panini station, grill, main course counter, and other stations. You get to choose what you want instead of being sort of funneled in and having only one choice. I think everybody's happier with the new selections. Yeah, isn't it amazing? It's just incredible. People that actually do food for a living have better success feeding people than politicians. Who would have ever thought that was possible? That's right, all of us. This is the Wells Report.
Sean Hannity sees a better future in the Middle East.
It is a remarkable moment that after 8 years of hostility, former President Obama showed our closest ally and the only democracy in the region, in the Middle East, such transparent hatred, even at times, in my opinion. I believe history, potentially, very strongly, could look back at this press conference as the beginning of real peace in the Middle East.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Larry Elder at 5, on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Are you starting to pay attention to the politics of the people who earn your business? Are you starting to get an interest in spending your money with people who share your values? Let me introduce you to Patriot Mobile, America's conservative cell phone company. PatriotMobile.com/Davis to learn about specific deals for you if you're interested in America's conservative cell phone company. And you should be. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT for details or PatriotMobile.com/Mark. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a fantastic conservative company, give you the same quality of service. You'll save some money, the same phone selection. And as a customer, you get to pick the conservative causes and candidates that they, Patriot Mobile, contribute to. 1-800-A-PATRIOT. 1-800-A-PATRIOT. PatriotMobile.com/Mark. They'll buy you out of your current plan. They're going to support causes you believe in. With every call, with every text, move the conservative ball downfield. 1-800-A-PATRIOT. 1-800-A-PATRIOT or PatriotMobile.com/Mark.
I'm Aaron Katz. I owned AABC Appliance and Air Conditioning, the company with the little red trucks. I don't fix appliances anymore, but if you've got a stuck or struggling business of any kind, I can help you fix and grow it, and it won't cost you a dime out of pocket. I started in Dallas repairing refrigerators back in the 70s out of the trunk of my car. Soon I had branches in 5 states, and when I sold AABC, we had over 65 service trucks and more than 100 employees in Dallas alone. I've got over 40 years of experience in running and building businesses, and over the years I became an expert at marketing, advertising, and growing businesses. If you're having problems finding and keeping customers, increasing sales, maximizing profits, or any of the other challenges faced by small business owners, I can help. Now, I said it won't cost you anything right now. That's because I insist on being paid only if I produce results. If I do, we'll share in your success. Call me at 214-526-3990. That's 526-3990. Give me a call and let's talk.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. With the Trump administration planning to hire 10,000 more agents to deport more immigrants.
Polo Morales with the Coalition for Humane Immigrants' Rights in Los Angeles says they've seen a steady stream of people coming to them asking questions ever since the election. Now he anticipates even more worry and concern.
Folks are really exploring what their options are and preparing for something like this. So we have an increase in lawful permanent residents who want to become citizens. And we also have folks that are just coming in very confused and trying to make sense of it.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
Morales says he thinks the expansion of the expedited removal program is legally problematic, that people should be allowed to go before an immigration judge.
2 more murder suspects still in Malaysia. The police chief there says they were trained to wipe a toxin on the face of Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of Kim Jong-un. They were also instructed to wash their hands. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio.
This is a special notice to consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, National Debt Relief is excited to offer a program that can reduce your credit card debt by thousands of dollars. Beware, the credit card companies do not want you to get this information. To see if you qualify to have your debt reduced, call the National Debt Relief Hotline at 800-691-2148. Qualifying for this reduction will reduce your overall debt and significantly lower your remaining monthly payment. If you're facing financial hardship with over $10,000 in credit card debt and need help, call now. Learn how you can reduce your credit card debt by thousands, all by using a proven A+ Better Business Bureau rated debt relief system that negotiates with the credit card companies for you. To ensure your financial stability and to see if you qualify, call the National Debt Relief Hotline at 800-691-2148, 800-691-2148, 800-691-2148.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. Now there's finally a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, and if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 days. So call now, 1-800-400-2199. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. To guarantee your 10-day in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-2199. Again, that's 1-800-400-2199.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. $29.48 or visit reputationdefender.com.
This is Eric Metaxas. Over the last year, I've been telling you about Liberty University's online degree programs, and many of you have begun completing your education through Liberty. For those of you who have not taken the step, a new year always offers new opportunities. So why not make 2017 the year you finally decide to finish your degree? Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university with over 95,000 students studying around the world through Liberty's online programs. So maybe you've procrastinated. You may have even convinced yourself that you just don't have the time. Well, the only thing standing in the way of completing your college education now is you. So whatever your excuses or reasons, 2017 can be the year you make it happen, but you need to start now. So pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. That's pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. Flexible, affordable, possible. Liberty University online. Dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a Real Estate Investor Association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, get no money or no credit financing, team up with local investing partners to make money while learning about the business, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local DFW area real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Texas. We meet on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge in Arlington. You can register to attend for free by calling 800-997-4830. This month's topic is the DFW Real Estate State of the Union Address. Call 800-997-4830. Write it down. That's 800-997-4830 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable Texas real estate training program for free. Brought to you by the DFW Real Estate Investment Association.
Dennis Prager here for the amazing Relief Factor, the natural solution for people struggling on and on with chronic pain like back, neck, shoulder, hip, knee, or general muscle aches and pains. My wife Sue and I are both very happy customers. I was skeptical at first, and I have never before endorsed a pain reliever. I do now. So if you're in pain, go to relieffactor.com. Check it all out at relieffactor.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. I have been watching what has been going on at Baylor University for all the time it's been in the news. You'll notice we haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about it because part of the editorial policy on the Wells Report is to not trade on personal misfortune. And when I talk about personal misfortune, I'm talking about self-inflicted stupidities, like, for example, sexual assault on a female on a college campus. We don't spend a whole lot of time painting scarlet letters on people and then walking around holding their heads high in the public square and fomenting the adoration of those who agree. It's not what we do. However, this particular era of Baylor life, Baylor Nation, is epically painful. And to those of us who are outside, present a lot of disturbing questions. Society demands certain comportment when it comes to dealing with things of the nature that currently plague Baylor University. There are certain forms of conversation, certain forms of discussion, reportage, etc., that cannot be altered. because to do so would denigrate the credibility of the victims or provide cover for a sexual predator or any number of other things. Based on the fact that we simply do not know much about the cases, attacks, victims, perpetrators of many of these supposed crimes. And I say supposed because it's a wonderful synonym for alleged. We have to be even more careful. We can only speak in the most general of terms. But even under those circumstances, there is plenty of fodder for a reasonable conversation about the future of the United States university system. A future that I do not believe involves what we currently call a United States university system. If you don't know, there have been 52 rapes on the campus. These have been alleged by the victims. There have been scores of sexual assaults, again, alleged by the victims. Many of these have not made it to courts yet. In January, a lawsuit claimed 31 Baylor football players committed at least 52 acts of rape in 3 years. That particular scandal claimed the careers of several top staff members, coaches, and even Ken Starr, who was the president of the university. A report the University Commission showed institutional failure at every level. At every level. But I noticed that the 18 to 20-year-olds that were most likely to be either participants or victims of this particular circumstance, they were pretty much left out of the report. They were certainly left out of the repercussions. And that's what I seek to fix. The Texas legislature is doing its dead level best to beat me to it. They want to make college cheaper, better at the same time. They're talking about cutting state funds and freezing tuition and so on and so forth. But they're also fashioning a brand new legislative and legal microscope to overlook the behavior on college campuses everywhere through Texas. There is a raft of legislation, 5 bills in fact, that aim to increase and encourage reporting and lessen rates of sexual violence, harassment, and stalking on college campuses. The problem with some of this is that there's also a proposal that would require school employees and some students to report assaults or face criminal penalties. You will testify or you will suffer a criminal penalty. Yes, students have a right to be safe. Yes, they do. But I've noticed that this kind of garbage doesn't really occur in high schools. So what happens to a high school graduate about 18 years of age in their next academic activity, which is to join some college or university for the sake of their post-secondary education? What happens in that time frame? Why is it that people will spend tens of thousands of dollars on books and tuition and boarding and all of that. And then try to see how much alcohol their livers can tolerate as a matter of course for that first year. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because the kids are too stupid to be going to university. It's possible. Or it's possible that the system is in need of repair. I come to this as a funder of universities and the parent of a soon-to-be university student. He is male and is therefore subject to many of the problems that Baylor is dealing with. There are a lot of big, tall, handsome men that are trying to figure out just exactly how they became accused of rape all of a sudden. I'm not saying that some of them certainly don't deserve those charges, but I'm saying some of them are trying to figure out how they got themselves into this position. And that is not what I want for Colton. That being said, we've come up with a different plan. A plan that I'd like to put on the table here tonight for your discussion and consideration. It has to do with Colton's going to spend the first couple of years of his post-secondary education at Tarrant County Community College. He's going to spend an awful lot of his time getting his transfer courses, all of his basic ed out of the way. He'll also be living at our house, and he will be going from 18 to 19 years of age, then 19 to 20. And then we're thinking that he might end up going to UTA. But we're going to keep him out of this mix master. What would I do if Colton had the grades, the basic acumen, and if I had the money to send him to Baylor? I don't know that I'd allow him to stay on campus. I know it probably is a regulation, but I don't think I'd have to ask for a waiver. I'd have to ask that he please spend more time with us at home. And the reason that I would say so is because, at least for the first couple of years, until he understands a little bit more about just exactly the ins and outs and the difficulties of interactions with, I would say, more mature females, but I'm not exactly sure that's the case. I've noticed that college freshman and sophomore females seem to be, shall we say, less in control of themselves than their high school senior selves just a couple of years ago. And so what I would tell Colton is that if he was going to Baylor, I'd say don't spend any time with any of the women you see there. Be nice, be polite. Mind your manners, keep your hands to yourself, get into your car at the end of your last class, come home and study. That's what I'd tell him to do. I would tell him not to go out with anyone for any reason, any soiree whatsoever. I'd keep him out of a fraternity. I'd tell him that he was there for an education. not to sow wild oats, or to experiment with the more intimate levels of society and social activity. I realize that would probably keep him maybe a bit behind socially, but it would also keep him out of jail. I don't know what it would like. I don't know what it would be like to be the father of a daughter who was stunningly gorgeous. But all I can tell you is that Colton's on his way to being a 6'4" blonde with shoulders as wide as the doorway he's about to go through. He's much better looking than his father. And I think what he needs to do more than anything, stay out of the way of these trains that are bent on running him over if the wrong circumstances appear. What are your thoughts? Is this a good recipe? This is the Wells Report. Back with more in a moment.
The Mark Davis Show.
So, will this new wave of immigration initiatives pass muster with the courts? How will it play among the public? As the Trump administration moves boldly on many fronts, the president has a speech before a joint session of Congress next Tuesday night. What should he say that night? We'll find out what you're saying about overnight news and hot topics tomorrow morning. It's our Wednesday morning show, and we hope you will join us.
The Mark Davis Show. Weekday mornings at 7, right before Mike Gallagher at 10 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. When you're looking for a company to install new windows in your home, you need to understand the difference between years of experience and years in business. Many companies talk about how many years of experience they have, but that does not necessarily make them a good fit for your project. The term years of experience tells me they've been doing something for a period of time, but not necessarily successfully. The more years a company has been in business will tell you they're an organization that takes care of their customers, because if they didn't, they could not survive in a competitive market. I'm happy to say Statewide Remodeling has been in business for over 22 years. And as to experience, we have installed over 120,000 windows in Texas. We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home, and a satisfaction guarantee your money back. All that's in writing. So if you're ready to get straight talk about new windows for your home, give us a call. The estimate and window evaluation are free. And if you decide to purchase, you'll receive 20% off your project. And while supplies last, I'll throw in a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest. Call 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis from my friends at Walker AC. The AC stands for air conditioning. It'll be a little while before we need that again. In the meantime, it's heat that is at issue. And let me tell you, Walker AC is my heating company as well. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating at walkerac.com, and the magic phone number 972-4, Walker, 972-4-Walker. These are the people to go to when your system needs fixing, when your system needs replacing. They're never going to sell you a system you don't need. They're going to do the repairs right at a fair price. If they can't fix it, they'll tell you about it and introduce you to the best price on the best system for you. It's people you can trust. Isn't that what it's all about? Trust with AC and heating, and Walker AC is there for you at walkerac.com and 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER. If something's just not working right, if things are chilly when they shouldn't be, your heater's not working, give them a call. 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, or walkerac.com.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
We are visiting our friend Chef Tom Fleming at Crossroads Diner. What do you have cooking today, Tom?
Let me ask you a question. Where you been getting your fried yardbird on lately? I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's fried chicken. Well, at the diner, we do it a little bit different. Hand pounded, hand breaded, fried to order, and it comes with the best smooth, warm, creamy brie cheese. And then we top it with, oh my God, I can't even believe this, a tomato caper relish that is just out of this world. So if you've been eating fried yardbird somewhere else, come by the Crossroads Diner because my yardbird's the best.
Fresh ingredients sure to please any sophisticated palate and taste at affordable diner prices in a casual environment. Crossroads Diner. Come eat with them at their new location, now at the corner of Preston and Campbell in the Kroger Shopping Center. Open for breakfast and lunch, Tuesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or visit them on the web at crossroads-diner.com. Home-style goodness meets traditional diner. Great recipes, fresh ingredients, comfortable environment, and genuine hospitality are the heart and soul of Crossroads Diner. They'll be waiting for you.
At Simple Sleep Services, our team of doctors are experts in providing the least invasive treatment for snoring and sleep apnea. A custom-fit, comfortable solution that you simply pop in before bed each night and wake up feeling refreshed. And it's covered by medical insurance. We are the most experienced team in the nation providing our treatment, and your diagnosis will be from a board-certified sleep physician using today's latest technology. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. No CPAP, no surgery, no implants, just simple sleep.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report with John David Wells. Must hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. I don't believe for a moment that America's colleges and universities are friendly places for 18 to 20-year-olds. It is my considered opinion as a parent that 18 to 20-year-olds really don't have any business living on a college campus without adequate supervision. The campuses do as best they can. These are, after all, grown adults, grown in the matter of 18 years of age or older, but they, for whatever reason, are certainly not of the maturity level that I was when I was 18 years of age. But then again, I was pretty much on my own at that age. I really didn't have a whole lot of time. I had a couple of jobs. I was cooking at Denny's and I was doing radio. Okay, 3 jobs. I was also street racing for $75 bucks at a time. Food, man. Gas. That would be the pattern of my life for many, many years. And you grow up under those circumstances. You grow up. In colleges, you don't grow up. One of the harshest things I've ever seen is how campus police forces, campus police officers function more as babysitters than officers of the law. It's ridiculous. So ridiculous, in fact, that I happen to believe that whatever has been going on with this generation of parents, the kids are not equal to the task before them, which is to get through the first year of university without flunking out and laying the absolute necessary solid foundation for their further endeavor in the last couple of years of their undergrad. Don't do it to yourself. Don't expose your kids to this mess. Can you imagine? Now let's talk about, say, for example, a Division 1A qualified high school kid. Somebody said, you've got to sign a letter of intent. You going to sign one for Baylor?
Young Chris, talk.
Well, we all look at Baylor and look down our nose at Baylor and say, oh, the Baylor Bears. What about SMU? What about Texas? A&M? I'm starting to have fewer problems with A&M. TCU, I have talked to a lot of people from TCU. Okay? And, well, here's what they say. Small C Christian. And I go, really? I got to tell you, if I had to pick a 4-year school to put Colton in right this minute, you know where it would be? Oklahoma Wesleyan. Because the guy who runs that university is a flipping genius. His name is Dr. Everett Piper, and he may be one of the most brilliant educators in the history of the art form. I'm telling you, if you I'm telling you, if you walked around in a toga, in 1,000 years, they'd be comparing him to Plato. Chris in Quinlan, Texas. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
Quinlan. So,
hi, Chris.
I have 4 sons.
Hang on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, Chris. I just realized that I can't take you right this second. I have to wait until the end of the break. But let's talk. I did. Chris, call us back. It's my fault. Chris, call us back. I want to talk to you at the end of this break on 660 AM The Answer. Thanks.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus from wherever you are on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits.
For information, text the word GUIDE to 35517.
Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University.
To learn more about ASU online degrees, text GUIDE to 35517. Again, that's GUIDE to 35517.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. Do you always feel like you're reaching for your reading glasses? Pick up a book, reach for the reading glasses. Get a text, reach for the reading glasses. Open a menu at a restaurant, reach for the reading glasses. Here's an idea. Reach for the phone. Find a way out of this. 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay.com and ask how they can help you overcome this constant reaching for the readers. A procedure designed with you in mind. Climate Evangelista Eye Center, they've helped a ton of folks restore their reading vision, and they want to help you, but you got to call them. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay, I-N-L-A-Y. Myinlay.com refers to the corneal inlay. Evening and weekend appointments available to discuss it. They're in Arlington, Plano, and Dallas. Free consultation with Climate Evangelista at 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020. Tell them Mark Davis sent you, 1-800-714-2020 or myinlay.com.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to change the station because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be faster than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to change the station now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You can reduce your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-400-8131. That's 1-800-400-8131. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131. 1-800-400-8131.
Chris Tomlin presents Worship Night in America. Chris Tomlin. Big Daddy Weave, Phil Wickham, Zach Williams, Mosaic MSC, and speaker Jason Barton. Don't miss this amazing night as the church joins together. An awakening event from the Awakening Foundation.
Coming April 21st and April 22nd to Verizon Theater at Grand Prairie. On sale now. Get your tickets at AXS.com.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells, and her name is Chris from Quinlan in Texas. And thanks very much for joining us, darling.
Hey, I've got 4 boys, and 3 of them have already gone through college, and the last one got out in 2011. So now number 4 is graduating high school this year. And I had the very same conversation with my son that you're talking about. And he's been to several baseball camps, and several schools, including Baylor, are looking at him. But the only one that I feel anywhere close to comfortable with, and it's one of the schools that's looking at him, is Oklahoma Wesleyan.
I would send my kid to Oklahoma Wesleyan in a blink. I would.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good school, and if you don't get done in 4 years, you're out.
Listen, I mean, the guy who's running that thing, Everett Piper, is...
I love him.
He is just brilliant. You know, I have... You know, I've got a college bound kid. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is. And and Colt is a kid who is, let's put it this way, he's going to draw attention. And he needs to be someplace where, I mean, he's got a good level head on his shoulders, but then again, I mean, you know, he hasn't. He's 18. Let me see if I can find a good way of putting this. He hasn't run across the typical major distraction yet.
Exactly. Mine is the same way.
Yeah, he has not actually experienced the distraction yet. And therefore I can't really, I have a pretty good idea how he's going to react, but I can't guarantee that reaction, if you get my drift.
Yes, I do.
I mean, you know, he and I are pretty close. You know, we talk frankly about a lot of things, but what you got to do is, you know, those kids are, it's really, really hard to see a fully grown man and know that in a lot of ways he's still kind of a baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know that because
no worldliness yet.
Well, you're a mother of sons. I am a father of sons, and there are a lot of things that we were able to avoid insofar as our kids were male. But but I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's a little different at this age. This is the age. The transformation from boy to man. And that occurs at this age. And that is the exquisitely difficult point for a parent of sons, in my view.
Yeah. One wrong decision, and it sets them in a totally different path for the rest of their life if they just make one bad decision. And I tried, so I've been successful with the first three, and I'm hoping the fourth one takes the way the other three did. But
well, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. And the thing about it is once again, the advice my mother gave me, mind your manners, keep your hands to yourself. It meant one thing when I was 3. It meant another when I was 12. It means something else now that I'm 59.
Right.
But it's always been the best advice I ever got from any female ever. And I'll be honest with you, I pass it along to all of the young men I know, and certainly my sons. And I can just say that, like I said, if Oklahoma Wesleyan, wants to take your baseball player and educate him, send him there. It's not Division I. It's not a Division I school. It's not something. It's not a place. It's not a place that draws, major league scouts by the dozens. But the ones that are looking for real talent, they find a way to find those guys.
Yeah.
They hear, they pay attention. They keep their they keep their ears to the ground. I was let's see, what was I? I was a freshman. I think I was a sophomore. I think I went out for baseball my sophomore year in Barstow High School, and somebody had heard about me and sent a scout from the LA Dodgers to come and look. And I could throw a baseball 94 miles an hour, but I didn't know where it was going. And we established I was a thrower, not a pitcher, and that I needed to spend some time learning how to pitch. But I didn't make the baseball team, so that was the end of my scholastic baseball career. But I played men's amateur ball for years and years and had a great time with it. But the thing about it is that your son, making a major league roster is almost impossible. Being a great ball player, a great citizen, well educated, and a great man, I think that's more important. And I'd go to Wesleyan if I were you.
I agree.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. See, these are the things. I touched on this last night. The left's insistence that we saturate our kids in sex. We start throwing out statistics from who knows where. 38% of high school kids end up having a child before they're 15 years of age. They develop huge rashes and deteriorate right before everyone's very, very eyes, and their relationships explode. Okay. What do? You've got to teach your kids sex education in high school. Or no, junior high. No, wait. Elementary. No, wait. Kindergarten, K through 12. We'll start at kindergarten because they've got to make choices then. They saturate our kids in sex and then wonder how come girls have sex. How come boys have sex? What? And then of course, well, it's not just sex. If the girl's unsure and she feels like she made a mistake and somebody says, like her dad, what the hell were you thinking? Well, he raped me. Uh-huh. And how do you escape that? The answer is you don't. A lot of kids have been ruined that way. while we're on that horrifying topic, let's talk about this. U.S. District Judge Sam Sparks, who needs to be out of a job, said Texas cannot remove Planned Parenthood from Medicaid and issued a temporary block on the state's ouster that will allow the provider to continue to care for patients through the program. Sparks issued a preliminary injunction and said the state did not have grounds to conclude that Planned Parenthood warranted termination from the Medicaid program as unqualified. His temporary block will stay in place until a full trial is scheduled, argued, and decided. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said in a prepared statement that he will appeal the decision, which he said is disappointing and flies in the face of basic human decency. Even the remains of the most vicious criminals in our society are treated with respect. But the children who never had a chance at life become so-called medical waste, or alternatively, a commodity to be bartered for. No taxpayer in Texas should have to subsidize this repugnant and illegal conduct. We should never lose the sight of the fact that as long as abortion is legal in the United States, the potential for horror will continue. Yvonne Gutierrez, executive director of Planned Parenthood Texas Votes, said the provider will never stop fighting back against malicious political attacks on Texans in need and Planned Parenthood health centers. I want to know where in the Constitution of the United States Planned Parenthood exists. Can someone explain that to me, please? Where does Planned Parenthood exist in the Constitution of the United States? Why is it that this is a private entity funded by federal and state dollars? Why do we have these Lamborghini-seeking savages trying to mill out baby parts for personal wealth and glory? Why are we doing this? It's one thing to ask the simple question is, why is this all illegal? Why is this all legal? But let's not muddy the waters with the reality of the most basic and important question. Let's just fast forward to the thing that we're dealing with right now. Why is this barbaric, I was going to say institution, why is this barbaric cabal nourished with federal and state dollars? How about all these people that say this is such an important aspect of American life? How about they reach into their checkbooks and start writing checks for Planned Parenthood? Hey, if you think this is such an important organization, by all means, fund it. But I think it's a gang of killers, and I don't want my tax dollars going toward it. Now, we can disagree. I will respect your point of view, if not necessarily the contents of it, but I will respect your right to be able to hold that point of view. And I will remain silent in the maelstrom of the obvious savagery of this hopeless organization. I won't seek to stop you or even stop them. It is not a malicious political attack for me to say that this horrifying collection of savages should not accept or be allowed to have public money for their horrifying endeavor. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. The left in this nation has money. I saw it. I saw hundreds of millions of dollars thrown at the feet of Hillary Clinton. By all means, send your money to Planned Parenthood if you choose to. But why is a federal court judge mandating that Texas money, the state of Texas, continue to employ this morally bankrupt cabal of unfortunate savages? And by the way, if you work at Planned Parenthood and you're listening to this broadcast, by all means, disabuse me of my point of view. Oh, by all means. Call me on the telephone. I'll even be respectful. But I say you're a barbarian. I say that milling out babies is a level of depravity normally reserved for those named Gosnell. Or not those, but one named Gosnell for sure. So a federal judge. Oh, where else? Austin, Texas. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Keep playing politics. We'll start electing federal judges. We do it in Texas all the time. We can do it nationwide. It'll work. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Tune in Sundays at noon for the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Join us each Sunday when we discuss the principles and practices of the successful real estate investor. We bring you experts to answer your questions on how to use real estate to build wealth and passive realized monthly income, and teach you the ins and outs of investing in real estate. So tune in Sundays at noon, right here for the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Join us for the Real Investor Radio Show right here on 660 AM The Answer.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
It's probably been about 10 years ago. I had quite a few credit cards. The interest on the cards was really high. I was making the minimum payments, but barely. And it was just getting to be too much, so I called Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348 to talk to a certified counselor.
They met with me, and they were able to get all of my credit cards in one lower payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
They did help me learn how to manage my money. Now, we have a house, and we're doing a lot better.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
My name is Holly, and I am debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5348.
This is Eric Metaxas. Over the last year, I've been telling you about Liberty University's online degree programs, and many of you have begun completing your education through Liberty. For those of you who have not taken the step, a new year always offers new opportunities. So why not make 2017 the year you finally decide to finish your degree? Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university with over 95,000 students studying around the world through Liberty's online programs. So maybe you've procrastinated. You may have even convinced yourself that you just don't have the time. Well, the only thing standing in the way of completing your college education now is you. So whatever your excuses or reasons, 2017 can be the year you make it happen, but you need to start now. So pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. That's pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University. Flexible, affordable, possible. Liberty University online. Dial pound 250 and say the keywords Liberty University.
This is a special notice to consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, National Debt Relief is excited to offer a program that can reduce your credit card debt by thousands of dollars. Beware, the credit card companies do not want you to get this information. To see if you qualify to have your debt reduced, call the National Debt Relief Hotline at 800-691-2148. Qualifying for this reduction will reduce your overall debt and significantly lower your remaining monthly payment. If you're facing financial hardship with over $10,000 in credit card debt and need help, call now. Learn how you can reduce your credit card debt by thousands, all by using a proven A-plus Better Business Bureau rated debt relief system that negotiates with the credit card companies for you. To ensure your financial stability and to see if you qualify, call the National Debt Relief Hotline at 800-691-2148, 800-691-2148, 800-691-2148.
I used to play a lot of sports in college, but when I got older, my legs started to burn and ache, making it hard to work out. Then I noticed those varicose and spider veins. I couldn't believe it. I thought this only happened to my mom and her friends.
The professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million personalized procedures for their patients, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring your legs back to health in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I called Vein Clinics of America, and they fixed my legs. No more ugly veins. Now I can run and do squats again.
Guys, get back in the game. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors and learn how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call now. 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
From our I can't believe this is still a problem file, the office of a Missouri congressman says he intends to file a federal lawsuit over the removal of a constituent's painting from its display on Capitol Hill. The painting, which shows a pig in a police uniform, divided members of Congress for its depiction of Ferguson, Missouri, where weeks of protest occurred after the police shooting of an unarmed black man. The painting, one of 400-plus winning entries in a congressional arts competition, hung in a tunnel leading to the Capitol for more than 7 months. Some conservative media outlets called for its removal. Republican lawmakers took it down and returned it to Democrat Representative Lacey Clay. Clay put it back up, saying its removal violated a constituent's First Amendment right to freedom of expression. Yeah, okay, well, your freedom of expression ends when it offends my sensibilities. Or at least that's what I keep being told by any number of aggrieved individuals who have various afflictions, some real, some imagined, and some simply chosen. So how about this? How about we all play by the same rules? Take the damn painting down. Stay out of court. Try really hard. This is the Wells Report.
From Plano to Denton down to Louisville too. Popeyes has it. Also in McKinney, we'll prove it to you. Popeyes has it.
And now get more truck for your buck during Ram Truck Month at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville. Get Texas size savings on Huffines Texas size selection of new Ram pickups and save the big bucks on all the other great Chrysler Jeep and Dodge values. Plus, Huffines saves you even more with the highest cash rebates and lowest financing available and top dollar for your trade. And remember, Huffines is the Consumer's Choice Auto Group of the Year for the 9th consecutive of year. Save now at Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram at Ohio and Plano Parkway in Plano and in Louisville at Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram right off the I-35 just north of 121.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, this is the time of year when you start hearing all sorts of crazy gimmicks from air conditioning companies. But if you've listened to our ads over the years, you know that free furnace you hear about, it's not really free. And neither is that 20 inches of insulation or that free extended warranty. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we don't bundle things in the price and call it free because that's just a gimmick. We'd rather keep our prices low and let our customers choose what they want. We do things a little different on service, too. Our techs don't work on commission, and they don't try to sell you equipment when repair is all you need. So if you're in the market for heating and air conditioning service or replacement, we actually invite you to call 2 other companies, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning. You'll see how we've done business for over 20 years, gimmick-free. Our number is 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Everyone, Larry North here for Viascan. Viascan is the most advanced scan you can actually do for the body in the world and the only one in Texas. Viascan does body scans, heart scans, lung scans, virtual colonoscopy, and much more. The best part is it's all non-invasive. Their mission is to provide you with the most advanced technology, support, and education to empower you to improve your health. Call Viascan today, 1-800-585-2702, or better yet, go to the website 123bodyscan.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. After a wave of bomb threats against Jewish community centers and vandalism at Jewish cemeteries, President Donald Trump on Tuesday condemned anti-Semitism.
The anti-Semitic threats targeting our Jewish community and community centers are horrible and are painful.
The president's relationship with American Jews had been strained by recent White House statements on the Holocaust that didn't mention Jews. Several hundred people evacuated in San Jose, California because of flooding from torrential rains.
Our focus right now is on ensuring that these residents are safe.
Mayor Sam Liccardo, more rain is forecast for the region. A banner declaring refugees welcome was unfurled at the Statue of Liberty Tuesday. Park Police still trying to determine who hung the banner from the statue's observation deck. The stunt comes as Homeland Security announces a crackdown on illegal immigration. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Stimulating talk, 660 AM, The Answer. Dennis Prager can't trust science anymore.
New York Times, May 9th, 2016. California braces for unending drought. The climate change world hysteria belongs in the secondhand smoke world of hysteria. There's a poison in the scientific community on anything that has to do with public policy.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM, The Answer.
Attention homeowners. Do you or someone you know have a house you'd like to sell? Hello, I'm Dan Franklin. I've been buying and selling real estate right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for over 20 years, and my process is simple. I'll pay you cash, and I'll pay you more. Just listen to what other people are saying after they called me to buy their house.
My name is Brent Patterson. Dan Franklin gave us $30,000 more for our house. Definitely call Dan if you want more money for your house.
I'm Bill Mays. I made an extra $18,000 working with Dan.
My name is Brenda Griffin. Dan Franklin gave us over $15,000 more for our house. Definitely call Dan.
Okay, now it's your turn. Would you like a higher cash offer? I'm Dan Franklin. I'll pay you cash and I'll pay you more. Call me today at 214-929-5555. That's 214-929-5555.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, owner of Statewide Remodeling. Something to think about when you're considering a bathroom or a kitchen remodeling project. National statistics show that almost 70% of residential remodeling companies do not stay in business over 5 years. 50% never make it past 3. The reasons vary, but the bottom line for the homeowner is you end up with a project with no one to stand behind the work. Something to consider when you think you're getting a great price from 2 guys in a truck. or a franchise remodeling company who got into the business at a franchise show down at the convention center. Not saying they're not good companies out there, but you can spend your next 2-week vacation trying to figure out who they are, or you can call Statewide Remodeling. We've been improving Texas homes for almost 23 years. We offer a satisfaction and workmanship guarantee, both in writing. We even have 100% financing options if you want to go that route. And right now we're offering 20% off your entire project. And while supplies last, you'll get a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest with purchase. The number to call is 888-270.
Have you checked your Google lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Think you're fat? You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-400-1022. Strict limit of 1 per household.
I used to be plagued by pot belly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. If your belly flattening results are too dramatic, simply reduce use to every other day. Think you might be bloated? See how much flatter New Biotics makes your belly. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-400-1022. That's 1-800-400-1022. 1-800-400-1022.
For me, it was the big S class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SE was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone remembers the first time they saw one, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury, the unparalleled safety, the performance, and the style Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years, so you can drive without a worry for as far as you like. And during the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through February 28th, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. One of the most annoying things about my job are the occasional traipsing through the landfill that occupies most of the furnishings of America's progressive left. I'm not a prude. I'm not someone who is easily shocked or judgmental enough to determine whether someone's gender behavior is anything except a part of God's plan. I am comfortable in my understandings of alternate ways of life, and I am respectful of others enough to be willing to let them live it. But what bugs me the most about this job is that it forces me into the realm of the intellectually disconnected. I'm not talking about the unfortunate people that the intellectually disconnected use to advance their politics. I'm talking about the people in the background. I'm talking about the political slugs that use others for the narrowest of human endeavors, politics. There is an unfortunate teenager out there who goes by the name of Mac Beggs. He lives in Euless, or she lives in Euless, depending on your point of view. As far as the state of Texas is concerned, he, Mac Beggs, is a she. As far as Mac is concerned, he is a he. He does not possess the plumage of the gender he claims, and therefore must go about his athletic endeavors as a female. Normally, that would not be a story that landed on the desk of the Wells Report, and certainly wouldn't be something that I would comment on insofar as I leave people to live their lives more or less in the privacy of their own endeavor. However, because of the American left and because of its obnoxious need to force others into the traipsing through the intellectual detritus that decorates their cerebral efforts, if you can call them that, I have got to deal with this. Because, as it turns out, Mac Beggs just won the girls' 110-pound championship in Euless, Texas. And you're saying to yourself, John, this is foolish. You are doing the wrong thing. You just said that Mac was a girl, that he did not possess the plumage of the typical male, that he was indeed female. Yes, that's true. However, in his Mac's pursuit of a gender he does not possess, he has been given what would be disqualifying drugs prescribed by doctors, by the way. He's been given drugs that would disqualify him from any other collegiate, Olympic, or even professional athletic endeavor. In other words, if a girl in the 110-pound wrestling class took the same levels of steroids, etc., that Mac Beggs is currently taking, she would be disqualified from competition. But because Mac has decided that he is a male. He is given those drugs, and because of the vagaries of UIL rules, is allowed to compete as a female. I don't know how many arms have been torn out of sockets at this particular moment, or broken collarbones, or any number of other things. I know that many of the girls that he has wrestled are very sure that it's unsafe to wrestle with this guy. One parent launched a lawsuit against the league claiming it's putting girls at risk of imminent threat of bodily harm by allowing Mac to remain in the 110-pound female weight class. Jim Bodwin, a local parent and lawyer who filed the lawsuit against the league, told the Daily Mail, the London Daily Mail, this is an international story now, that he was not trying to get in Mac's way, but insisted he had an unfair advantage over the girls in the category. It's fundamentally unfair. It is fundamentally unfair. While Mac remains in the 110-pound weight category, the testosterone that he is taking certainly will act on his musculature in ways that girls cannot be equal to. He has indeed injured some of the girls he's wrestled. He should be allowed to compete with the boys. Texas hasn't fallen into the pit of allowing girls to wrestle boys insofar as they, I don't know, for whatever reason, they just haven't fallen into the moral disarray that other states have. But this is clearly a mistake. Were I the parent of a girl wrestler in the 110-pound weight category, I would just tell my daughter to stick to wrestling women and not men. Now, I'm going to say something to you. This may seem controversial at some level, but I have met women who were absolutely men. The one I'm thinking about was a very close friend of Susan, and was, after I cleared my throat at one time during a conversation, very respectful to me. But there is no doubt about the fact that she was male. She lived a female life. She was gay. And she just moved about her life, proud of who she was, confident in her own skin, and living a wonderful life. She is a truly amazing human being. I like her very much. Great gal. She's not afraid of using female pronouns and so on and so forth, and she's proud of being a woman. I don't know what her athletic endeavors were. I know that Martina Navratilova is one of those people. She is most decidedly a man. And she most decidedly competed with females on an equal level because she was a genetic female. So I will say that I'm very sure that Mac is absolutely a male. So he should absolutely wrestle with males and stop hurting females. If I was a parent of a female wrestler, I wouldn't let my daughter wrestle with Mac. He's too big. He's too strong. Won't let that happen. Now, we can have another conversation another day about whether girls should be wrestling in the first place. Why are you shaking your head? What? I'm sorry. Did you just agree with me? No, wait a minute. You did agree with me. Now you deny it.
I don't know what you're smoking in there. I would never do that.
Never do what?
I would never agree with you, just on principle.
You did too. You agreed with me that girls should not be wrestling.
Well, good thing no one else heard that then, huh?
Just so you know, Mac's parents don't want him wrestling girls anyway. Well, then tell him to stop. But then again, there are still people in Mac's corner that have a real problem. Like, for example, his grandmother, Nancy, who said that forfeiting was about nothing more than hatred and that the youngsters are willing to take each other on before parents meddled. Not true. Not true. Look, the simple case of the matter is this. A genetic female who is female, mentally and otherwise, taking the drugs that Mac has been on would be disqualified from competition. I'm not saying disqualify Mac from competition. I'm saying move him into the boys category. But certainly stop him from wrestling girls at 110 pounds. Sorry, it's the way I see it. This is the Wells Report.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio. But one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Calling all business owners. Are you running your business without being incorporated? If you answered yes, you are now eligible to incorporate in just 10 minutes. It's a quick incorporation event from Incorporate.com, designed to save small business owners from the risk of losing everything. Just call this number for your free 10-minute incorporation guide, 1-800-500-9551. If you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued. It's you, too, which means you could lose everything. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why small business owners across the country are now scrambling to incorporate during this event. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide while supplies last. 1-800-500-9551. Incorporate.com doesn't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. But hurry and call now while they're still giving these 10-minute incorporation guides away for free. Call 1-800-500-9551. That's 1-800-500-9551.
We are visiting our friend Chef Tom Fleming at Crossroads Diner. What do you have cooking today, Tom?
Have you had a chicken piccata? Come on, say it with me. Piccata. Haven't heard of it? Sorry for you, bro. We pan-sear our own chicken and lemon and capers in a sauce so good, you want to swim in it. We call it the backstroke sauce. But the real stars of the dish are the herb-roasted Yukon potatoes. Trust me, you won't know what you want more of, the chicken or the tater.
Fresh ingredients sure to please any sophisticated palate and taste at affordable diner prices in a casual environment. Crossroads Diner. Come eat with them at their new location, now at the corner of Preston and Campbell in the Kroger Shopping Center. Open for breakfast and lunch, Tuesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or visit them on the web at crossroads-diner.com. Home-style goodness meets traditional diner. Great recipes, fresh ingredients, comfortable environment, and genuine hospitality are the heart and soul of Crossroads Diner. They'll be waiting for you.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt and I couldn't pay my bills. I was feeling so bad. I got to a point where I needed some help. So I reached out and contacted Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348 to talk to a certified counselor.
They were able to take all of my different payments and put them all together.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
And they were actually able to work with my creditors. I've been able to pay off close to $15,000 in the last 18 months.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
My name is Stephanie, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5348.
Hi, Hugh Hewitt here for ReliefFactor.com. I tell you every single day, and I'm telling you now, ReliefFactor.com has worked for thousands of people. I take it every morning, as does the fetching Mrs. Hewitt. Try ReliefFactor.com. Order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. It's amazing what it has done for thousands. Watch their testimonials, put down the over-the-counter, pick up the blue and green bag. Go today to ReliefFactor.com. The quick start's only $19.95. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com.
After a rough day on the range, a fella can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
And you won't stink.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report, a daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Mac Beggs, probably a good kid. 17 years of age, from Euless, Texas. Has been taking steroids as a part of his transition from female to male since 2015. He says he wants to compete against boys, but isn't allowed to do so because the University Interscholastic League rules say that he must compete as the gender listed by his birth certificate. He needs an exemption. Obviously, God made an exemption when he created Mac. So how about this? How about the UIL grant him an exemption to compete with the boys? I resent having to have this conversation. I do. It's not that Mac Beggs is a bad kid and doesn't have an evocative story. But this is international coverage of a high school athlete that represents the smallest possible percentage of human beings. It is unfortunate that Mac lives this way. It is. It's unfortunate. He suffers from the cruelest of all mental disorders. That being gender dysphoria. I am sure that his parents did everything they possibly could to raise him as best they could. I would not presume to criticize their decision making regarding where this where this young person is headed. I'm assuming that they're making absolutely superb decisions in the best interests of their child. I would suggest that the UIL do the exact same thing. Not just for Mac, but for all of the girls who would wrestle him. And on and on. Life gives us exemptions. Life gives us unique individuals. And they have done so in the person of Mac Beggs. But because Mac is who he is, doesn't mean that for the sake of an inflexible rule book, that a young woman who is practicing a sport that she just wants to enjoy should be injured because of it. This is the Wells Report.
It's time to honor our veterans with the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. 660 AM The Answer joins with Patriot Mobile to spotlight a veteran each month. If you know a veteran who deserves such an honor, then go to 660amtheanswer.com and nominate them to be Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. Winners will receive a Crossroads Diner gift certificate and an award from Patriot Mobile. Plus, they'll have an opportunity to come to the studios to meet Mark Davis and John David Wells. Go to 660amtheanswer.com to nominate your veteran. That's the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Democrats have always identified themselves as the party of the little guy, but in 2016, they lost tens of millions of aggrieved, out-of-luck voters to a boisterous billionaire named Donald Trump. Why? Because the party's self-destructive obsession with race and gender. The real dividing line between families that are forging ahead and those who are falling behind is based more on economics and education rather than race and gender. A white male high school dropout in Appalachia is hardly privileged, while a black woman like Michelle Obama with degrees from Princeton and Harvard is hardly oppressed. Trump won white males without college degrees by a 3-to-1 margin, and even won non-college.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Have you ever wondered why extremist Muslims were the way they are? Well, I certainly have. I got some answers, and I want to share them with you. Coming up on the next edition of the Wells Report. I can't see your name. I thought I could see your name. All right, here we go. Have you ever wondered why Muslim extremists were the way they are? Well, as a matter of fact, I have, and I got some answers that I want to share with you. Noni Darwish is the author of Wholly Different: Why I Chose Biblical Values Over Islamic Values. She is someone who very courageously left Islam for Christianity. What's her story? What can she tell us about Islam? Next time on the Wells Report. Mark Davis, it's Wednesday already. My goodness, this week is flying by. Hi, I'm John David Wells, and coming up later on the Wells Report, I don't want to do it that way. All right, here we go. Mark Davis, it's Wednesday. Hump Day. Hump Day. Hey, I was told to do that by my producer, Vicky Stifer. I was told to do that by my executive producer, Vicky Stifer. I had to comply. You know how it is, my friend. Noni Darwish is going to be our guest later on tonight on the Wells Report. She is an author and human rights activist. She was born and raised as a Muslim, devout, in fact, but she is now a Christian. What was that particular journey like? And what can she tell us about Islam and why Muslim extremists are the way they are? Some amazing answers later on tonight on the Wells Report.
Guys at ksky.com. Let's play ball.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
660 AM. The Answer. The truth. The whole truth.
Let's do a Mark Davis cross promotion.
The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. Let's find out what Mark Davis has got planned for us. What do you say? Mark, what have you got?
Hey, JD, good Tuesday evening. So is this new wave of Trump immigration initiatives going to pass muster with the courts? And how will it play in the public? As the Trump White House moves boldly on many fronts, the president will have a speech before a joint session of Congress next Tuesday night. What should he say that night? And we'll find out what you say about overnight news and hot topics tomorrow morning, our Wednesday show. Join us, everybody. See you in the morning, 7 to 10 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
The Education Department, now under the Trump administration, will be rescinding some Obama administration's Title IX guidance. This is a good day. This is a good thing. The Title IX guidance we're discussing are transgender restrooms. A federal judge blocked the policy last August, but that won't mute the outcry among those who want the feds to dictate which restrooms everyone can use. Because there are simple things that the government simply must be responsible for, and whichever plumbing fixtures the government thinks we ought to use are the ones we should use. You know, I am very straightforward when I talk about politicians being incompetent. And as I say that, I want to make sure that you understand something, that's generalized thinking. When you say that politicians are incompetent, generalized thinking. It is always flawed when you apply generalized thinking to individuals. Always flawed. But a politician is reasonable, intelligent, focused. Most have the heart of a servant. They're truly wonderful people. But politicians as a whole kind of begin to lose lock on reality. That is what happened during the Obama administration when somebody said something about, what about bathrooms? I want to know how this all came up. Well, actually, come to think of it, no, I don't. I don't want to know how this all came up. All I know is that someone had an idea and it became presidential policy. Last May, the Obama administration issued a Dear Colleague letter asserting that a school must treat the student consistently with the student's gender identity when it came to transgender access to restrooms. School districts and colleges that did not comply risked being sued and losing federal funds. Recall that in 2015, the Justice Department joined a lawsuit by Gavin Grimm, a transgender high school student in Virginia who wanted to use the boys' restroom. This controversial Gloucester County School District policy, this contravened Gloucester County School District policy, while students with gender identity issues were allowed to use private bathrooms. The Obama administration simply was not satisfied with that. A federal judge dismissed Mr. Grimm's lawsuit, but was overruled by the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. Gloucester County School Board appealed, but the Obama administration then issued its Dear Colleague letter. 13 states sued to block enforcement on grounds that the restroom edict, unfortunate choice of words there, stretched the law, and the administration ducked a formal rulemaking. Title IX requires that the schools provide restrooms that are comparable for both sexes, but the law says nothing about gender identity. For those people, by the way, who are saying, see, your president is doing just as much of those executive orders as my president. Yeah, remember, the current president is writing executive orders that facilitate a law. President Obama's executive orders often redefined those laws into ways where the laws could not go. Just saying. In August, federal judge Reed O'Connor issued a nationwide injunction. He said the guidance contradicted the existing legislative and regulatory texts and bypassed the notice and commitment process required by the Administrative Procedures Act. The judge also scored the administration for not allowing a safe harbor in providing transgender students individual user facilities as an alternative accommodation. Further, the Obama DOJ did not offer evidence that the plaintiffs are not accommodating students who request an alternative arrangement. Transgender students deserve respect, but restroom policy should be determined by localities, not by federal dictate. Again, I'm happy to report that Donald Trump is calling off those Title IX redefinitions. It doesn't even have anything to do with Title IX, for crying out loud. I mean, not this. I remember when gender was added to the EOE laws. And I said, why are we doing this? Why are we allowing a group of people to usurp remedies for bigotry they have never faced, nor very likely ever will face? There are not a lot of people that you have to accommodate here. You know, it seems so very odd to me that people would say that we simply absolutely must accommodate the rarest among us as some sort of gold standard as to the way things ought to be, quote unquote. It truly does seem to me that what we ought to do is we ought to make reasonable accommodations in a reasonable fashion. And here's how you could do it. I was actually thinking about a solution. You know, we like to tell the truth and then we come up with a solution, right? Well, here it is. How about a third restroom? Men, women, and you. You could just say you. That way, anybody could use those restrooms any way they wanted to. Of course, you know, the retrofitting of all the public buildings and so on and so forth would be an enormous job. It's true. But at least at that point, you would not have an overarching government demanding that women share the restrooms with men and vice versa. Truly, it's nuts. It's truly crazy. It seems to me that what truly needs to happen is just have them build a third restroom. I wonder, though, you know, these people are seeking normalcy. You know, they have chosen this. They have decided that nature missed it with them. And while I have discussed that that certainly is the case, as a matter of fact, I dare say, in most cases, people who are gay because they're gay. The choice in all of this, by the way, is to turn away from that behavior, not necessarily to say that or not to deny it. I think what you try to do is you just simply try to live the best way you can. Mindful and respectful of those around you. And take whatever opportunity you have to live your life as the status quo ante would indicate. And be happy with that. But when you talk about a victim of transgender dysphoria or gender dysphoria, we're talking about someone who feels that way. There's just very little that can help them. Just very little. And yet, thanks to the Obama administration, and now the even more thankful to the Obama administration fixing the mess. We have had to deal with this. And our government has looked exceedingly foolish in their never-ending quest to provide all things to all people, except some people aren't all people. But even if they're not all people, they should be treated like all people. But that requires a complete and total juxtaposition of typical situations in society, and simply must be executed at the highest possible level as quickly as humanly possible. As if this problem was going to fester and explode if we don't, or if we didn't, right this minute. Eight 660-5759, 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report. Just when you think that the left has run out of ways to annoy you with regard to President Trump, well, they've come up with another way to annoy you. It's truly annoying, which is why I said it was annoying. And to me, it gives me another opportunity of pointing out that without doubt, the Democrat Party is turning itself into an un-American party. Simply un-American. And I'll get all that to you coming up in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I'm reasonably sure the Target stores is really hoping for letters from the Trump administration very, very soon. This is the Wells Report.
Mike Gallagher breaks some tough news to protesters.
Okay, good. Go march around. Carry a sandwich board and yell that he's not my president. The ultimate truth is he is. You want to stand around and think you're going to make a difference? Go ahead. I believe with all of my heart, you're not going to make a difference. You're not going to move the needle 1 inch.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekday mornings at 10, right before Dennis Prager at noon on 660 AM. The Answer.
Tune in Sundays at noon for the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Join us each Sunday when we discuss the principles and practices of the successful real estate investor. We bring you experts to answer your questions on how to use real estate to build wealth and passive realized monthly income, and teach you the ins and outs of investing in real estate. So tune in Sundays at noon, right here for the Lifestyle Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Join us for the Real Investor Radio Show right here on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. When you're looking for a company to install new windows in your home, you need to understand the difference between years of experience and years in business. Many companies talk about how many years of experience they have, but that does not necessarily make them a good fit for your project. The term years of experience tells me they've been doing something for a period of time, but not necessarily successfully. The more years a company has been in business will tell you they're an organization who takes care of their customers, because if they didn't, they could not survive in a competitive market. I'm happy to say Statewide Remodeling has been in business for over 22 years, and as to experience, we have installed over 120,000 windows in Texas. We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home, and a satisfaction guarantee your money back. All that's in writing. So if you're ready to get straight talk about new windows for your home, give us a call. The estimate and window evaluation are free. And if you decide to purchase, you'll receive 20% off your project. And while supplies last, I'll throw in a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest. Call 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095.
Hey, everybody. Mark Davis and my friends at Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. We all like good food. Sometimes we go out for good food. Wouldn't it be great to have good food in your home? And that is doable. Got to shop, got to find the recipes. But what about Blue Apron? Go to blueapron.com and see the amazing universe of fantastic, delicious food. Pork dishes, beef dishes, chicken dishes, seafood dishes, things that you can make because they send you the exact ingredients and the perfect, easy to follow directions to do it. Blueapron.com. Go to blueapron.com/Davis. Blueapron.com/Davis. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. You will love how good it feels, how good it tastes to create incredible home cooked meals. Do it with your family, more bonding time. and more food enjoyment time. BlueApron.com/Davis. Check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to BlueApron.com/Davis. That's BlueApron.com/Davis.
The tech show's on this month. I was thinking of looking at home security systems.
Oh, cool. I'll go with you. We're looking for more home security ideas, too. That's why I called Budget Blinds.
Budget Blinds?
Look at this.
A remote for the blinds.
Yep, motorized.
Okay, well, that's beyond cool. I love it. But what does it have to do with home security?
Oh, they also come with a timer. The blinds and drapes open themselves in the morning, close in the evening.
Oh, so it looks like somebody's home even when you're not.
Exactly, and I saved a bunch of money. Sally saved a bunch of money.
But you'll take the credit.
Yeah.
My brother, the tech genius.
Thanks, man.
Now give me that remote.
Budget Blinds motorized window coverings are the ultimate in luxury, and during the Luxury Within Reach event, they're even more affordable. The more you buy, the more you save, with savings up to $2,000. Hurry and call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now before this offer ends, or go online to budgetblinds.com. Don't miss out. Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now. Offer good on select products at participating independently owned and operated franchises. Restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
Toby Mac's Hits Deep Tour is back.
Speak light to the deadest, darkest night.
Get ready to sing along with Matt Marr and Mandisa. Mac Powell from Third Day, plus Holland, Ryan Stevenson, and Capital Kings, an awakening event from the Awakening Foundation.
A Dallas Baptist University concert series event. Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie, February 24th and 25th. Tickets at AXS.com.
This is Michael Medved, and for well over a year, you've heard me talking about Relief Factor, the natural solution for people struggling with chronic pain like back, neck, shoulder, hip, knee, or general muscle aches and pains. Thousands of listeners have told us all about their amazing results in dramatically lowering or eliminating their pain. So I'm sending my personal friends and radio listeners to ReliefFactor.com to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's ReliefFactor.com.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report. Must hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. The next incredibly stupid idea from the all but irrelevant left in Washington, D.C. comes to us from Earl Blumenauer from Oregon. He is a Democrat. In a floor speech this week, he called for a review of the Constitution's procedures for removing a president. He warned the 25th Amendment of the Constitution falls short when it comes to mental or emotional fitness for the office of president. Never to be outdone when stupidity is involved, Senator Al Franken of Minnesota, during a weekend interview with CNN's State of the Union, said that a few Republican colleagues have expressed concerns to him about President Trump's mental health. Representative Ted Lieu plans to introduce legislation that would require the president of a psychiatrist or a psychologist in the White House. Seriously? Yeah, now what we're doing is we're going after the president's mental health. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea at all. And I think you should stop. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is John David Wells. I want to thank you very, very much for listening to this edition of the Wells Report. We do this every single day, and we'll do it again tomorrow. See you then.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Think you're fat? You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-400-1022. Strict limit of 1 per household.
I used to be plagued by potbelly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. If your belly flattening results are too dramatic, simply reduce use to every other day. Think you might be bloated? See how much flatter New Biotics makes your belly. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-400-1022. That's 1-800-400-1022. 1-800-400-1022.
After a rough day on the range, a fella can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers.